change of plans. We were going to talk about Zelda games because we thought, hey, Persona 5 came out. We'll probably take some time to beat that, which if you listen to the Breath of the Wild episode, we pretty much had the same idea for Breath of the Wild, and then we both beat it in a week. So, whoops. Welcome to episode number 18 of the Seasonal Anime Checkup OVA, where we're going to talk about Persona 5. I'm Jared, joined as always by Ladyem.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about a game that we spent a combined 180 hours playing.
Yep.
Which I finished at 81 and a half. You finished it at 100 and spare change.
Yep. 100. I think it was 100 and then 4.
Which I don't know how there was a 20-hour disparity between us.
I have no idea because we were really even. And sometimes I leave my system on, but my system also auto turns off. So I don't know what's up with that. But I think I also fought everything in the final dungeon. So that may have had something to do with it.
And you had way more co-op or confidants. I forget what's
confidants.
It was cooperations in the Japanese version, so I get those confused. Than I did, and you had max skill. So apparently you did some better gaming playing than I did. Gaming playing. That's a word.
That's a phrase.
So we're gonna talk at length and in depth about Persona 5. We will give a spoiler warning when we go in depth into spoilers, so don't worry about that. Also, you can only, if you want to stream or record this podcast, we will allow you to do that for the first quarter of it. But then after that, we will be sending channel shutdown notices and copyright infringements to you if you continue to do so. Just a heads up.
Yep.
This is from our Japanese mastermind, so we can't really do much about it, guys. Sorry.
Oh my god. Nice commentary there.
Thank you. Man, a week later and that thing still is, it's baffling, but also they have the legal right to do that, so they're not in the wrong, but PR wise they're kind of in the wrong, and it's kind of crazy. And also how Alice USA just threw the Japan branch under the bus when they did that. It's still real weird.
Yeah, I don't really stream, so I guess I'm not affected or as offended, but I can understand why people would be upset. So that's kind of weird. Was it like that in the Japanese version, or is it just the US version?
Usually they'll come out and they'll have a little post being hey, this game has is very story heavy. Don't go around spoiling it for people. And also, Atlas Japan has kind of a notoriety around if you post stuff on YouTube, they're the ones that are going to be sending you copyright strikes and all that stuff. I ran into that personally when I was posting Persona 4 Dancing All Night story videos for the English version, and then 8 days later it was oh, here's Alice Japan coming in with these copyright strikes, which Alice USA was kind of cool about and was helping people get rid of those during that time. But I guess this time around, they couldn't come to an agreement on that, and basically were hey, look, this is gonna happen. We're gonna kind of, it's kind of crappy that they did this 12 to 16 hours within that Tuesday. So it was around 2 o'clock or 2 to 3 o'clock Eastern time when that notice went out. So people were already streaming it, posting stuff to YouTube and everything when they finally put that out. So maybe they should have got that messaging out sooner so people would have known, especially since that game was leaked early.
Yeah,
people had that game. And let's be real, the Japanese version of that game got leaked early. There were spoilers for endgame content out on the internet before that game was officially released in Japan. You're not really saving people from getting spoilers if you have this kind of draconian style of enforcement. Nintendo doesn't even go to this length anymore. That's kind of the crazy part. So if you want to find spoilers, you're gonna find spoilers. It's the internet. It's not 1999 anymore, where you really have to go out of your way to find spoilers of that nature. So
right, which I was happy that I didn't have it spoiled, since there was a huge gap in between the Japanese release and the English release.
Yeah.
So positives and negatives. I did see like one singular thing on the internet that I was like, oh, okay, that's a spoiler, but turns out it wasn't actually like directly what I was thinking it was going to be, so that was fine. But I can understand in the sense and that these are like you said, very story driven games, and it's not fun when you have something like that spoiled for you. It's just not.
Right.
So I can understand that they're trying to help and they're trying to like make the experience fun for everybody. Like it was Persona 4 that had the warning of like, please don't tell people like what happens in this game, because it's such a problem.
Right, but also like at the same time, a internet playthrough of Persona 4 is what got me into the Persona games and led me to buying all of the Persona games. So
again, I'm not arguing for it or against it. I'm just saying that I can see where the logic is.
It's very strange, especially I think in 2017 when there's still companies out here that are trying to enforce strange restrictions on what you can put up, but like for the most part, like everyone is kind of just like they understand like this is the environment and the climate of how video games are on the internet. So it just felt real strange that a company was just like this strict in enforcing something like that, even though like people have pointed out like, oh, it's been a week and there's stuff past that, that point where they say, oh, you can't put anything up on there and nothing's been taken down yet. So shrug shoulders, but obviously they're going to have to like take time and go through everything and like eventually start taking stuff down, which usually that's how they operate. It's usually like a week after you'll start seeing stuff getting taken down, at least in my experience. But yeah, like I think combined with that and then the interview of Hashino being like, yeah, we can't do a female protagonist because obviously these stories are very male centric, and it was like
that was gross.
Like, what bull is that?
No, it is, and I posted on Twitter and Instagram our meme cat of like being appalled by that. So, like that was disgusting, and honestly, like it's so frustrating because there was nothing about Persona 3 to me that was like, okay, it's fine, like this can be gender neutral, that it wouldn't be the same way for like 4 or 5.
Yeah, like what is exactly male centric about 4 that you need to have a only male protagonist, or 5 for that matter?
Like nothing about it is specifically male. The only thing that I can think of is the fact that in 5, like you're considered a delinquent, and that may be like kind of shisty for like a main character girl, but like at the same time, why is it shisty? Because like girls can also like defend other people and be strong and all that. So like, meh.
Yeah, like you can easily have that same story. Like here's a female character who got labeled as delinquent. Like tons of other Japanese stories have that narrative. Like I don't understand why. I mean, let's be real. Hashino is kind of a piece of shit.
Right, he is, and I think it's literally just like lazy and sexist.
Yeah,
like that's all there is to it.
I mean, his next project is doing the fantasy RPG that the P team is doing at Atlas. So it's almost at this point though, like I hope Atlas just takes him off Persona games. I know they won't, but I would be so happy if they got someone new in there and like kind of got rid of like the problems that is currently plaguing those games. Like, what he said in that interview, the really bad homophobia that is in 5.
Oh, it's bad. It's
very
gross.
bad.
It's really, really gross. Like, I've seen a lot of people posting pictures of it online, like thinking it's funny as a joke. And I'm like, guys, really? Like, we should be beyond this. We really should be beyond this. Like, it's not funny. It's not cute. Like, nothing about this is good.
It's 2017. Like, everyone should know better. Like, come on. Like, it's not even a thing of like, oh, it's a Japanese company, so of course they're going to be kind of behind times. Like, other Japanese companies are kind of on the bandwagon of saying like, hey, this is bad. We shouldn't be doing this.
Right.
But like, I mean, you can look at Persona 4, where it had problems with the same thing. Like, maybe not to the same extent that 5 does, but there were problems with homophobia in Persona 4. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, like when Yosuke looks like a saint in
yeah.
comparison, it's kind of bad.
And I mean, like, I know numerous people have brought it up constantly, and it's almost it's a tired point at this point in a way, because it is kind of a hot take. But like, when you have within the same series of games a character who has been openly gay in Persona 2, and you haven't returned to that point at all in 3, 4, or 5, especially in 5 when there is blatant queer baiting, in this game. Like,
there's that, and there's just so many uncomfortable jokes, and I'm just like, ugh. I was really grossed out by a lot of the treatment of anybody that was either implied to be gay, or like the jokes about people being gay. Like, just no. Like, I understand that like teenage boys do that. I get that, but like some of these people that are doing it are straight up adults, and like you should be better than that. Do better.
I just hope they I know they're not going to. I just hope someone new gets the reign of Persona 6 or something, and, you know, kind of stomps out all these problems. I know, unfortunately, it's probably not going to happen, and Hashino's going to be the new Nomura for us, so that's the terrifying thing. It's like, man, Hashino's kind of become like the de facto number 2 of like, I don't really like you, and I think you're probably one of my most disliked game directors now.
Don't become the villain. Don't become the villain.
Well, that's our mini rants around the stories around Persona 5 that don't necessarily directly involve it. Well, I guess kind of that last one did, but it's a shame.
Yeah.
Let's talk, I guess, briefly some general thoughts. I know we can't really get too specific with general thoughts because, I mean, it's a long game, and you kind of have to get into specifics to talk about certain stuff. We talked about this, I know you and I did. I put on Twitter, which it may be harsh in retrospect, I will say that Persona 5 is the Metal Gear Solid 5 of Persona games for me, which that is harsh. Like, I think Metal Gear Solid 5 is easily the best game-playing game of that entire series, maybe one of the best playing action games ever. But the story is completely garbage, and when you go to the Metal Gear franchise, you go for, you know, bonkers stories, and that game does not deliver that in really most of the instances that the game has the brief amount of story in it. I don't think necessarily Persona 5 has like a terrible story per se. Like, I think I've softened my stance from yesterday when we talked about this.
Yeah, you were very adamant yesterday.
But a lot of it, I don't know, like, there's just parts of it just didn't do anything for me compared to like 3 and 4. So like, I guess for me, like, this is probably my least favorite Persona game out of all the ones I've played.
Yeah, no, I can't agree with you on that one. For me, it's really not. Like, I very much disagree with you on that.
I mean, I like 1 more than you do, obviously, so I think like that's probably one of the things. Like, I think 1 has a really good story. I think it's more tightly constructed than what 5 has. And I think that's kind of like one of the big points for me. But that's not to say that this is a bad game. It's not. It's still a really good game. But, and I talked about this with one of my friends, Chris, and it is kind of unfair to try and compare this game to Persona 4, which I think is literally like one of the best games ever made, bar none. And it's kind of unfair to try and hold it to that echelon, to that bar. But at the same time, like, if I think that's unfair, like, what the is the point of criticism then?
Right. I mean, I think 3 is the best of the Persona games still. But honestly, after finishing 5, I put 5 over 4.
I cannot agree with that at all.
I know you can't, because like it's one of your favorite games. But like if I'm honestly ranking them, I would definitely put 5 over 4 for me.
Like, I think this game does good things on innovating the gameplay, where, like, you know, battle system is a little bit different, and they made some smart changes there. There's a lot more stuff to do, but at times it's overwhelming. that there's way too much stuff to do, and especially when the game locks you out certain days, which I've seen arguments like, oh, well, they do that. I mean, that's just the way the game is designed. It's like, well, no, I shouldn't be able to just like go to sleep just after a day where we just talked. Like, that's stupid, especially when you have all of these options to do things.
Yeah,
like,
there are a ton of options of things to do. And I know we discussed it, that it sometimes gets overwhelming in the sense that like there's a lot to do. Like there's almost too much to do.
Yeah.
Because like I didn't even find the fact that I could go batting until like 3 months before the game ended, 2 months before the game ended. And I was like, oh, hey, I can do this. I didn't know that there was a bookshelf in the cafe that I could use to read. I had no idea about that. I don't think I trained once because I had to do other stuff. I mean, there was just a lot to do. But I also kind of like that in the sense that, I mean, it's overwhelming, but also, like, it's good when you're trying to raise stats and you're not doing the same exact thing over and over and over and over and over. Like,
there's definitely a lot more variety.
Yeah. So that was helpful, and I like the fact that like you can go to the movies and like you hear clips of the movie, or you're watching a TV show and like you hear clips of the TV show and everything. So like there was a sense of variety even if you're doing some of the same actions.
Right.
So that was nice to me.
And like I think I like a lot of the characters in this game as well. Like I think the outer social links, basically, like all those characters, I think those are very well written characters, and I think they might be the best set of like outside of your initial like persona group. Like that might be the best set of characters that they've done that aren't just like, you know, oh, these are your groups, so you basically know a lot about them. Like I think all of like their arcs are, or at least the ones I've seen, are really well done in ways I wasn't expecting.
And I think that's part of why I like this one better than 4, is because I feel like the characters overall, whether it's the actual team members or the outside people, I feel like they're a much better written set of people. I felt like they were a lot more like realistic, and a lot more, I was more like engaged with their stories and more engaged with their growth, and that may be why I maxed so many of them, but
right.
I was really intrigued by where a lot of their arcs were going to go, and I feel like that's really important for this kind of game, is to have such strong characters. And I mean, there was only one that I was even like, I don't really care as much, but if there's one out of like a huge group, that's really, really good.
Yeah, totally. It does kind of sound like I'm just like, yeah, I like all these things, but I don't like this game. It's there's something about the story that just doesn't do anything for me. I don't know. We kind of talked about this yesterday, but it's like, you know, a lot of the core things about the story is like adults are bad, and I'm like, well, it's like obviously, I mean, you and I are both adults, so it's like, well, yeah, obviously that happens. That's society in general, and it's like, oh, I mean, these are teenagers, so like they're obviously going to be like, you know, more resilient to that and rebellious against that, but also
Angst.
It's like, yeah, angst and all that sort of stuff. It's just like, I don't know, like I saw that and I was just like, okay, yeah, I get it, but I've seen so many other things that have that same exact storyline, so I don't know.
But again, I mentioned this to you yesterday, like, one of the things that they do really well is, again, through like the confidences, show you that like not everybody is like that. You can trust some people. Like,
yeah, true.
There are good people out there. So I feel like it's, at some points it is a little heavy-handed, but at the same time, I really, really thought that like the whole idea of like society and corruption and like apathy, and I really liked those themes. I thought it was fascinating that this game decided to go more of a like, it was a larger story than just like, oh, hey, here's my core group and there are problems in this town. Like it was a way bigger issue that they were having to deal with. And you're also having to deal with like popularity and the I'm trying to think of the right way to word this. How society and people can really turn on you very, very quickly because of like literally nothing.
True. Yeah.
Which I feel like is really relevant at the moment. And I know that we also talked yesterday that you were saying that maybe it just hit too close to home on like
Yeah.
what like the political situation is like right now. But I kind of feel like it worked better for me in that sense, and that like I'm living a reality where there's so much like corruption and so much nepotism, and you feel kind of helpless. So it's kind of nice to play a game that was like, okay, well, I'm not helpless. I can fix it. I can work with it, and even when things go downhill real quick, like there's still some kind of hope. And so I really like that because it gave me some kind of like fight. Whereas like right now in like reality, I don't feel like I have that.
Right.
So it was kind of like a proxy for me. It was pretty rad.
I think you bring up excellent points. Like, I mean, who's to say like this game will grow on me down the line? Like, if I play through it again, maybe I'll think of it differently. But right now, like, I know my website has a review scale that's very different than most other ones. That's not trying to be like gloating or anything. It's like it's just hey, is this game recommended or not? And this game would get the recommended tag. But if I was doing like a scoring system like out of 5 stars, it would get like a 3 or a 4 for me.
I was thinking that like if it was out of 10, I'd give it an 8.
It does bum me out that I'm not necessarily like sirening over this game, let's say.
But I mean, you don't necessarily have to love the game. Like
that's true. Like
that's not why we're here. Is
exactly.
Like,
you can have dissenting opinions, and I think like 2 other reasons as well that kind of irked me. The writing at spots can be real strange. Like we talked about this when we were talking about Mishima, and how at times it's like, he knows who you are, but at other times the writing basically acts like he has no idea who you are.
Yeah,
and it's very strange.
Yeah, there's some weird inconsistencies in his character specifically.
And then I guess at times as well, like there's a few points, especially around that 3/4 mark, where the game just halts in terms of like pacing and progression, and it's just like you're doing literally nothing. And I like and I dislike that this game really doesn't have any time skips until the very, very, very end. But like those moments at that 3/4 mark, I was like, man, I could really go for a time skip right now because there's literally nothing going on.
Oh, I liked it. I got a lot done.
You can get a lot done, but it's just like, man, maybe not. Like I wish like it would just skip time. Just like I just wish something would happen. Especially when there's a point in the game, which we'll get into when we talk about spoilers, where the character's like, yeah, this was very pointless. And it's like, why would you even go as far to say that? That just confirms what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, there was one scene that was super pointless and it was annoying, and that frustrated me. But there was later parts in the game where like there was nothing going on, and I still liked it because like my favorite parts of Persona games is like the social elements of it, and I really like building up like social links, and I really like building up like stats. Those are fun for me. So there's a point in the game where like nothing's going on, but I'm like, I'm getting so many stats. I'm getting so many stats, and I maxed them. It was great. And I don't know. I mean, I liked it. I really did. I think if I had, well, I have a few complaints. Which
by no means a perfect game.
It's not. It's not. Like I said, I would give it an 8 out of 10. I got frustrated because I had to go to bed so often.
I mean, literally, that makes us on the lower end of scoring this game compared to everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, it does, which is crazy because, I mean, like, Persona 3 is, like, one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah, I mean, you could go back and listen to our Persona retrospective, both those episodes. You would know how much we adore this series.
It's great. But, man, I don't want to go to bed, Morgana. I don't want
I just talked with my friends for 5 minutes. I don't need to go to bed.
to. Well, and, like, stupid. There were a few days I was just like, there's no reason for me to have to go to bed. I don't want to go to bed. There was a lot of wasted time, and it's frustrating because, like, I missed out on a few social links being maxed because I didn't have enough time on them. But,
and I think there was a few times as well where, like, I was so accustomed to, like, oh, well, obviously I have to go to bed. I would go to bed, and it would give me, like, oh, you had a dream about this person. I was like, did I just literally waste the time that I could have done something because I thought the game was going to make me go to bed? I was like, God.
Oh man, literally every single time that I would go back to my room, I'd try to go downstairs to see if she's going to make me go to bed. Every time.
It was either that or check the map, and if the map was just like the area and didn't have like anything else, like, oh, I just got to go to bed, I guess.
Oh, I didn't do that. That's smart.
That's the other way to do it. But yeah, either way, it's just like
I also feel that overall, like, there's some really, really strong points in terms of the soundtrack.
the soundtrack is phenomenal.
Really, I was going to say overall, I didn't like it as much as 3 and 4.
Wow, I think the soundtrack is on par with maybe 3 and 4. Maybe the ending song withstanding, but I think, like, the soundtrack is really good.
Like, I like the opening song, and I like the fight songs. Like, all the battle songs are great. But some of the, like, in the middle, like, nothing's happening songs, I didn't feel like were nearly as iconic or good.
I mean, maybe that's the thing where I've played through this game twice now.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I've become more accustomed to them. So I'm, like, more familiar with them. Maybe that's the reason, but even when I played the Japanese version, I was like, this soundtrack's really, really good.
I mean, Life Will Change is just, like, amazingly good. Like, it knocks it out of the park how good that song is, and I got hyped whenever it came on, especially the lyrical version. Like, the regular version is fine, but when it popped in those lyrics, I was like, yeah, let's go.
It's a very good song to get you pumped, especially because, like, that song plays when, like, oh, you're about to do something real
big.
important. Yeah, so it's like,
yep.
It's a very good song to get you pumped.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Like, it knocks out of the park. And like I said, I really like all the battle songs. Like, all the regular fight songs, the boss fight songs, they're all really, really good. But some of the just, like, everyday stuff, I was like, okay. So I felt like that was kind of weak.
Obviously, style has been talked about to death. It's very stylistic.
Oh, it's super stylish. Although, as somebody who has crappy vision, like super crappy vision, I don't understand why main characters' glasses just appear and disappear.
Yeah, that was
like,
real strange.
Like, at one point in the game, they're like, you don't need your glasses. I'm like, no, he can't see. He wears them for a reason. Don't make him blind.
But, I mean, I guess he doesn't have his glasses in palaces.
No, but I thought maybe, like, the mask did something.
But, like, when Futaba raises her, like, goggles up, she's wearing her glasses underneath.
Oh, okay. That's true.
Maybe he's literally just wearing them for the aesthetic.
Aesthetics, like, oh, man. It's like so many pictures of BAP where they run around with glasses on. Like, I think the only one who actually needs glasses in that group is Jong-up, and he never wears them.
He's a betrayer, obviously. He would not wear his glasses.
But, I don't know, like, I feel like they should have kept his glasses on. It was kind of upsetting.
Yeah.
Weird. Because to me, it's kind of annoying in that you have a main character who, like, wears glasses, and I was thinking, like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like, we have a main character who's gonna wear the glasses, and you know, I understood he didn't wear them in the palace because, like, I thought it was like a thing with a mask. But I don't know, it's kind of annoying that we can't have a main character that's just like, hey, he has this impairment, but he can still kick ass.
Yeah.
No, instead we're just gonna like make him go without his glasses every once in a while and like question whether or not he's blind this entire dang time.
I mean, you could kind of put that down to more inconsistent writing.
You could, but also I think it's just like
It's also just kind of lazy.
it is. But I think that there's kind of like the whole like trope of like glasses are kind of like quiet and nerdy and whatever, and like not having your glasses on makes you like more confident and that kind of thing, which is annoying. I hate that trope.
That's
as,
real
like,
dumb.
yeah, but you know it's true.
Yeah.
You know that's a trope. And like as somebody who wears glasses and will probably kick your ass if you deserve it, wearing them the whole time, mind you. I mean, let main character wear his glasses. Let him see. He probably will do better.
Hashtag let him see.
Let him see.
I guess like last thing, like graphically, it fits the style it's going for. It doesn't look nearly as good, especially if you're playing on PS4. But that's just because they ported it up from the PS3 version. So like a lot of the textures are kind of blurry in a way that like they probably shouldn't be for a PS4 game, but just how long that game was in development, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I mean, like honestly, I didn't even notice it. Everything to me looked really, really great. The character models were great. Everything kind of moved naturally, which was good. I didn't have any like weird issues with hair clipping or whatever.
No.
I did comment, although your main character can text in class and and on whatever you want to call her, sits in front of you, and like whenever she's texting, it looks like she's scratching her butt, which is really weird. Oh, that's another thing that I wanted to mention that I just remembered. A lot of the names are really inconsistently voice acted.
Yeah.
Like some people call Anne, and some people call her On, and I'm like, ooh. And then
the last names specifically are like the one part where it's like, do you guys know how to say these last names in a consistent manner?
A+ to Matt Mercer, which A+ to Matt Mercer every day because he's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you for being a great human being, Matt Mercer. I love you. But he said all the names right, so I was really proud of him.
Where it's like, oh, Takamaki was like Takamaki. It's like, that doesn't sound right. Or Sakamoto becomes Sakamoto. I was like,
So that was a little weird that like one character would introduce themselves and then like somebody would say it different, and you're like,
it's apparently what Atlas told him to do, so
it's no, I mean it doesn't make any sense that they'd be like, okay, that's fine, you could just say this name completely differently.
Yeah.
Like that's like me introducing myself and saying like, my name's Ann Ladyem, and then the person immediately saying back, all right, Ed Ladyem. Like that's literally not what I just told you my name was, but okay. Like that's how it read to me in certain points, because they would introduce themselves and then someone would say their name different. I'm like, ugh.
And some of the localization at times was real awkward. Like there were times I felt like they were going for more direct translations, which is not necessarily what you want to do with localization, because if you directly translate Japanese, it's just very direct, obviously. And it just doesn't read right. Because like when you first come and introduce yourself to Shojiro, he's like, it's like, are you, insert character name here, and like the first option is, please take care of me, and it's like, no one in their right mind would say that initially when responding to, are you said person?
Right, but he also has some really weird choices. Like, and I mean, it is a trend with Persona that sometimes you have really strange choices. So I didn't read it as a weird translation, and more just like there are joke answers.
I felt like I saw that like happen like a few too many times where like it could have been a joke.
Oh, okay.
But maybe that was just me. Like, I don't know. It just reminded me of the whole like, when the last Fire Emblem games came out and everyone got up in ants about how the game wasn't directly translated specifically from Japanese. It's like, well, no, that's not what localization does. Localization changes it up in bits and makes it more understandable for English speaking audiences, because that's what you do.
But also there were 6 people on the team.
Right, which is absolutely insane. No wonder this game got delayed.
For real. I was like, holy crap, when you told me that, I was so shocked that there were only 6 people working on a game of this size with like this text heavy.
Like, what are you doing, Atlas USA? Like, I understand why that game got delayed now, but that's inexcusable.
Yeah, it's really ridiculous. I mean, they should have had at least double that.
Yeah, especially because I think they came out and said at some point like this game was like what twice or 3 times the script size of 4 per se, something like that. I thought I remember seeing that, but like yeah, that's asking for trouble.
Yeah. I mean, it totally makes sense why it got delayed now. Hire more people, Atlas.
Yeah, no.
Um, there was something else that I felt like I needed to mention. Oh, also, before we get into spoilers, I wanted to talk about the return of like demon negotiation.
Mm-hmm.
Because holy cow, I had a hard time with that. I know a lot of people were glad that it was back because it was kind of a big staple for a while. Even with like a thing like on the explanation, I don't know exactly the way to word this. There was an explanation of like if the persona is this, 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 and this, then you answer with this kind of question or this kind of answer. And I was like I had an impossible time. It was mostly luck, and it was really annoying. But it was also kind of like Pokemon completionist type thing for me. I was like, yes, I want you. Come be my friend.
It really felt like a dumbed down version of how it was in 1 and 2. Because in 1 and 2, like you have like that little graph chart bar thing, which would tell you like, oh, the demon is happy, it's sad, it's angry, it's excited. And that's how you would know, like, okay, well, I need to get more green so I can have them join me and all that stuff. Like, which they kind of do with this, but it's like, oh, happy, sad, anger, and you don't have that chart or anything. And the way they had answers in those earlier games was like you'd have 4 options, I think, and each one would correspond to like one of those emotions. Like they wouldn't be necessarily explicit, be like, oh, well, this one's this, and obviously and all that stuff. So I would agree, like, it didn't, I don't know. I was kind of okay with it coming back, but I don't know that they necessarily executed it on the way that they should have.
Well, it had, like, in the top left before you did anything, it would tell you what they were. And so I would try to go off of that and, like, do the talk thing. And so the issue is that, like, if they're, like, in this one mood, then you have to give them funny answers. And I'm like, well, I don't know which one's funny. Like,
yeah,
you have to give them serious answers. I'm like, which one's serious? Like, one of the questions is like, what kind of food do you eat? And one is like, curry, protein, or vegetables. I'm like, which one of these is funny?
Yeah, like there was a few of them that were just like, well, 2 of these answers are pretty much the same. Like, what am I supposed to do here? So,
yeah, it was a lot of luck, but
which you were like, how did you do this in the Japanese version? I was like, I just hit the first option each time. Hopefully, I got lucky.
I mean, it was a good question on like how the heck did you pull that off? But I mean, it was cool that they brought it back, but it wasn't perfect, and it may just be because I'm bad at reading emotions in general, like even on real people. So obviously, reading emotions on fictional demons, I'm not very good at either.
Not the easiest thing in the world.
Whoops. But the personas actually, there are a lot of like redesigns on them, and there's also some new ones, and they all looked really nice. I was pretty impressed.
I remember seeing somewhere like someone said like it wouldn't surprise them if they used a lot of those character models for whatever the SMT game for Switch is going to be, considering they're already like high def and all that stuff. So. That would make sense. Also, I saw Kaneko as listed in the credits, and I was like, huh, that's still surprising that he still gets credit for, like, demon design and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he did, so.
Yeah, true. So, I mean, a lot of people have touted this game as like, oh, this is the return of Japanese RPGs. This is the one to play if you've never played one before. This is the best RPG in years. I would disagree on all three of those points, especially for people who are like, "Oh, I've never played a Persona game. Is this the one I should play?"
No.
No, they made that game last year. It's called Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Um, I don't know about that.
I think TMS is a very good like beginner RPG.
Okay, I'll give you that in terms of mechanics, yes. It is a very good beginner RPG. In terms of story, I feel like it would be kind of difficult for somebody who's not into JRPGs to get into because it's super, super Japanese, like J-pop.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's not as accessible story-wise. Battle-wise, yes, it's 100% more accessible. But even then, like I wouldn't consider this one like a really good like intro JRPG either. Because for one, it's somewhat heavy in some of the themes and the story, and like I legitimately got upset at certain points because like of things that were going on.
It's very long too. Like this game is like what I would say maybe double how long it took me to be like 3 and 4.
I'm not a good judge on that because I have just like disgusting amounts of time onto those, so I can't tell you.
I know I've definitely beaten 3 in 40 hours before.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay.
That's my basis on that. Like this one just felt like extremely longer than like to beat than any of the other two. It's like that might be an issue, and like I don't know, like if I'd say like, hey, you've never played a Persona game, like go play 3 or 4, maybe 4, because I think that's the most accessible out of all of them.
4 is the most accessible out of all of them. Because 3 is again kind of like people who are into JRPGs may be a little turned off by the whole like shooting yourself in the head type thing,
and the different versions having weird things with the battle system.
Right. That definitely makes it inaccessible. Unless you're playing like P3P, then it's a little. But
and then with P4, obviously, like they fixed all those problems, and the story is a lot more lighthearted.
Yeah, it's more like Scooby Doo-ish. I mean, there is actual murder, lots of actual murder, but
yeah.
But I don't know that Persona 5 would be. I don't think that if somebody came out to me and was like, "Hey, I've never played a JRPG before. I really want to get into it. What would you recommend?" I don't think Persona 5 would be the top of the list. While I personally like the game, I've also been playing JRPGs like literally my entire life.
Right.
So I don't think I could honestly recommend that to somebody who hasn't played them before. Like, nah.
And I don't think it's the best one that's been out in years. I think that's a lot of hyperbole going around. Like, I've posed this question to you before on a previous podcast when I was questioning, hey, maybe Tokyo Mirage Sessions is better than Persona 5. I vehemently agree that Tokyo Mirage Sessions is a better game than Persona 5.
Okay. So I think that both games have really strong points, and some have points over the other one. Like, if you're asking on soundtrack in general, I'd give it to Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
I think you have to give gameplay to Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Like, I think the battle system is a lot more fun in Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
100% agree with you. Battle system would go to Tokyo Mirage Sessions too, because for one, it felt more intuitive with the whole like switching out system.
Yeah.
And it wasn't tied to a social link, which was nice.
And you being able to combos and all that sort of stuff.
It was fun, like the sessions and all. I really, really like that. I think story would go to P5 though. And I think overall, in terms of characters, it would go to P5. Even though like Tsubasa is bae.
I don't know. I think I might slightly, very, very slightly give you, because I do like a lot of the characters in P5. I think I would very slightly give the edge to Tokyo Mirage Sessions there. Because I think a lot of there's obviously less characters, so like that has an advantage in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of them are more tightly written, and that kind of helps. But like obviously, like I like a very good majority of the characters in P5, and I think a lot of them are very well written as well. So like it would be like the slightest of edges Like that's like the
Yeah.
most neck and neck contest for me. And then obviously I think story we would disagree with. I think Tokyo Mirage Sessions probably be the better story.
Um, yeah, but I'm thinking like back on characters though, like Tokyo Mirage Sessions had Barry, which was awful, and Tokyo Mirage Sessions had a guy that I literally called asshole like the entire game.
But it worked. I mean, we'll get into it in spoilers later. I think comparative characters that start off as jerks and try to have a redemption arc, TMS does a better job at that. And also, Ryuji kind of does some crappy things in Persona 5. Like, hey,
Yes.
let me compare chest measurements between girls because that's a cool thing to do.
So that was gross, and I literally texted you about it. It was like, this is disgusting because, like, in general, and I'm just gonna make this statement right now. Don't comment on things that humans can't change about themselves. Like, if you're gonna comment about somebody's body, you're a shitty person, and you should stop. Like, people can't change unless they spend a lot of money on certain parts of their bodies, and it's gross and it's objectifying, and this is regarding like men and women or anything else, anybody in between, non-binary, whatever. Don't say things about people's bodies in general. Stop. It's gross. It's not funny. It's not cute. It's not sexy. Like, I get again that these are a bunch of teenagers, but like, don't encourage it.
It's
Like,
teenagers being written by an adult, so that's the thing.
Right. That's what I'm saying is don't encourage it. Like,
Yeah.
you have a choice in how you write these people. And like, if you want them to be generally unlikable, then like, sure, okay, make them say things about people's bodies. Like, there is a character in there who specifically does that kind of stuff, and it's gross, and you're supposed to dislike him. But like, if you're gonna put somebody on my team who says stuff like that, like, no, not okay. Like, there are moments that he has a lot of like, Ryuji has a lot of good moments, but that was a very bad one. I was livid because, again, I think it's like the lowest common denominator to comment on people's bodies, and I think it's disgusting, and I hate it, and like, I immediately will hate you if you do that. So
Right.
keep in mind,
But
don't be a bad person.
but Ryuji also doesn't like obsess over like a little girl. So that's a good point on his compared to
Right.
Barry.
Right. Barry also is like lusting over a girl who's like
Yeah.
12, 13 years old, and it's disgusting.
That's so bad.
So
So maybe that one could go either way. Maybe there's not really a true advantage in that one.
but like I'm saying, I think that like certain categories for each game would get points. So
Yeah.
I can't
It's very subjective.
I can't explicitly say that I like this game better than this game in those two games because I really like certain points of each one.
Like, Tokyo Mirage Sessions was your game of the year last year, wasn't it? Or right up there with it.
Yeah, it was.
Because, like, I mean, I'm saying this, like, I think that game is phenomenal. It's a very underrated game. A lot of people slept on it because it's on the Wii U, which...
Well, and because they're like, oh, it's not a real Fire Emblem,
Yeah.
or, oh, I don't like the K-pop. And it's like, I don't like you. Shut up. And, like, I've mentioned this before, and I think it was in my post, but if you're going to say that you don't like J-pop, and, like, you fuss about it, but then you're, like, creaming your pants over Simple and Clean, like, you can literally go yourself. Because everything in Tokyo Mirage Sessions is 100 times better, and it's such... Yes, Tokyo Mirage Sessions was my game of the year. I literally still listen to that soundtrack because it's so dang good.
It is.
It's good J-pop. It's really good J-pop.
Also, I'm real glad I brought that up just so you could dunk on Simple and Clean.
I hate Simple and Clean
So good.
much. Hate it. Hate it.
That has made me real happy. I mean, for me, like, that game was number 4 on my list, but, like, I think I can make an argument for, like, the top 5 games that I put in my Game of the Year list as being number 1, so there's that. But, like, yeah, I think that game's phenomenal. Like I said, maybe Persona 5 will eventually grow on me, but, like, right now, in this very moment, on this day, the 13th of April, in the year of our Lord 2017. I think
Do you
Tokyo Mirror
believe
Sessions.
the Lord?
No, I just like to say that because it's real dumb. I think Tokyo Mirror Sessions is the better game, but like, I mean, obviously, it's subjective. Let's be real, but you know, that's another argument for another time.
Well, and also I guess we should mention, which is kind of funny that we're mentioning this like an hour into it or something. I don't know how long we've been on here.
51 minutes. We haven't gotten spoilers yet.
Nice.
This is gonna be a 7-hour podcast.
I told you it's not going to be 7 hours because Morgana's going to tell me to go to sleep. We just finished this. Like, you finished it 2 days ago, and I finished it, like, 3 hours ago?
If that, maybe, like, 2 hours ago.
Okay, so we are really fresh off this. Like, really fresh off this. So, worth mentioning.
It's basically how we did the Breath of the Wild podcast, where, like, I beat it a little bit before you wrapped it up, and then we went into talking about it.
Yeah, which, whoops, sorry guys, I was behind on playing.
Thanks, BAP.
You know what? BAP was worth it, and also
yeah. I'm glad this is the second time we could mention them in this podcast.
Everybody should love BAP. Don't sleep on BAP.
Don't sleep on BAP. Don't sleep on Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Don't sleep on Hifumi for best girl in Persona 5.
What?
Yeah, I went there.
Wake me up. All right, we're gonna argue on waifu wars here.
Oh, don't say waifu. Come on, you're better.
I know it's disgusting. No, I'm actually really mad that those are going on again because every time Persona gets released, it happens, and I'm like, guys, can we not make it into a competition about girls? Can we not do this? Can we not objectify women like this? But no, it happens every single time. Literally every time, people are always arguing over like, no, you have crap taste in women because you picked this character. I'm like, bro, Sif Stalin. Maybe, just maybe, let's consider this for a moment. People have different taste.
I thought you were gonna say maybe they're all best girls.
They are all best girls. There's no wrong choice here. We'll put it that way. There's no wrong. Actually, no, there is wrong choices. It's gross to date the adult women. Don't do that.
Even though people will argue that it's a-okay.
It's not.
If adults are playing this game, maybe they want to date adults as well because they don't want to date a teenager, even though you're playing as a teenager. It's like
right. That's the thing is that your main character is like 16 or 17 years old. So like, no, it's gross. Don't do it. Those are not best girls. All the girls that are his age, yes, best girls. You can't go wrong. But also, like, people have different tastes. What?
Shocked.
In romantic partners. So not everybody's going to want to date the same girl. And so, like, saying somebody has crap taste because they want to date, like, so-and-so, like, literally you should just go insert yourself into a trash can immediately because you suck.
Brief side note, that reminds me, I was streaming the Japanese version like a little bit after it came out, like a month or so. Like, this is after I beat the game, and someone in my chat was like, "So which one is gonna be your waifu?" And I was like, go away."
Did you immediately block them?
No, because I'm too nice of a person for that. So I literally never address that word when I talk to them.
Yeah, I usually only say it like in ironic situations when I'm like making fun of the situation.
Right.
Because it's a gross word. And it's also just like, don't do this, guys. Don't do this. Like, people did the same thing with 3 and 4. Like, all girls are best girls. And people have different tastes in who they want to date. Leave them alone. Just don't date the adult women, period. The end. I've said my piece.
We should probably talk about spoilers then.
All right, let's talk about
almost an hour in.
Whoops.
All
well,
right.
It'll give people who haven't played it something fun to listen to.
I legitimately thought we were not going to have like that much general thoughts to talk about. I was like, oh, we're going to talk like maybe 10 minutes about general stuff, and then the rest is going to be spoilers. I was wrong.
Yeah, well, you forget that your co-host is a chatterbox when it comes to certain things. I can't write a whole lot in terms of like if I'm going to write a paper, there's no way it's going to meet a page length, but by God, I can talk.
That's why we got this here podcast, so we can get all of those words out. Word vomit onto everyone.
It's better than real vomit, but
you would know.
I would. But no, it's nice. It's nice to like verbalize my thoughts about games, and I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
And I hope people like listening to us talk about games, because that would be great.
So, all right, here is your major spoiler warning. We are going to talk about spoilers after this. That includes in-game spoilers, twist spoilers, spoilers, spoilers on cars, spoilers on, I don't know. I forget what else has a spoiler. Anyways.
This is your spoiler alert.
So literally after this very point, I can't say the time because obviously it'll be changed due to editing. Spoilers are going to start right now. I'm going to give a 5-second pause so you can turn it off. Spoilers are starting right now.
Hello, this is spoiler talk.
All right, so you beat the game and then you headshot a god on Christmas Eve.
Literally, it was so cool.
I was like, this is ridiculous.
Oh my God, it was so cool that, I mean, you see the sunset and you're like, oh, that looks rad. And then it zooms out and you're like, oh, I'm looking at the sunset through his freaking head. This is so cool. And like, you didn't even mention that the fact that you headshot him on Christmas Eve by a like giant like monster.
Your own giant persona, because the god you're facing is
huge.
Based off of the Holy Grail, that's one of his forms, and then goes big old boy, and then you're like, oh man, you beat him up, and then obviously your favorite trope of, oh no, we beat this guy up, but now we have no energy, help. And
We're gonna lose.
And then you bring out your own big boy, who is a form of Arsene, I guess.
Yeah, Arson. He becomes like this big mech, like he kind of looks like Voltron Transformer style.
The one thing I really wanted out of that was like
a fight.
Yeah, like you just this both of them just like punching each other, like it's a kaiju movie or like a giant mech movie, and it's like, and you're just on the ground like mimicking what your persona's doing, so you're just like shadow boxing.
That's one thing that I was thinking. Like he pantomimes like shooting and everything. And I'm like, where does his bullet go? Does he just like hit the thing in the chest? Like where does the real bullet go?
It shoots him to the junk.
Yeah, I mean, because Futama's like, is it Futama that says he's the size of a building? Someone says he's the size of a building, and I'm like, his bullet's not really gonna go anywhere. But like, good on you, child. You tried.
Yeah. It's very ridiculous.
It was such a cool way to end that fight, though. Like, it was very satisfying because I was kind of pissy at that boss. To just see him get obliterated in the head, and like, yeah, okay, I'm good with this.
It was definitely like a cool way of doing the whole, here's your unknown skill that you didn't know you had until right now, and now you're going to use it to defeat this final boss thing.
Thanks to your social life.
Yeah, that's been in 3 through 5 now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the name of big old boy persona, but I don't.
He said it, but I didn't understand him.
Yeah, that's the one thing.
But that's the thing, is that I don't understand like half the things that are persona names. So
it is Satanol, Satanael, Satanael.
What is he based off of? Does it say?
Let's see. This is from the Megami Tensei wiki, so take that into consideration. History. In the second book of Enoch, Satanael is mentioned as a leader of the fallen angels that rebelled against YHVH by refusing to bow to the human Enoch, leading to his imprisonment. Due to his name and role, he's considered an interpretation of Lucifer. So of course.
Okay, so that literally makes sense in terms of the story, because he's like the fallen one fighting like the people's will and all that. Yeah, okay. They
say something like that, I think, at the end as well. There's a line like that.
Yeah, and the fact that you had to fight the 4 archangels like before and everything, which those fights.
This says here his ultimate attack that finishes Yaldabaoth. Yeah, that's a name. Off in
Yep.
one blow is the Sinful Shell, an attack that combines the power of the 7 deadly sins into one in order to kill a god.
Which, they did go with some of the like 7 deadly sin like concepts throughout the game, which is kind of cool. I like that. Even though like I don't know crap about religion,
Yeah.
so
You can, I guess, fuse this dude, which I'd probably assume that you'd have to beat the game first to get him.
What?
Yeah, he's level 95.
I want to fight with him. I want to fight with him.
He
That's all I
has
want.
Maegion, which is heavy curse to all foes. Megadolian, survival trick, which is survive one instant death with 1 HP remaining. Riot gun, severe gun damage to all foes. Cosmic flare, severe nuclear damage to all foes. Heat riser, buffs attack, defense, and agility for 1 ally for 3 turns. Unshaken will, immunity against all mental ailments. Victory cry, fully recover HP and SP after victory. That's the skill you get at level 99.
Oh, he's perfect.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I ended up beating the game with Dionysus because I was like, I need invigorate.
I ended with my boy Black Frost. Hee ho.
Hee ho, hee ho.
It says his role in summoning in Persona 5 is based on the series of interpretation of Lucifer, where he is summoned and champion freedom and chaos against the tyranny of Yaldabaoth's order.
All right. So since we started with the end, actually, do you want to talk more about the end, or do you want to go to the beginning?
I guess we could talk about the second twist, which I think is the better twist out of the 2 twists.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you.
Which I think it's brilliantly done because it's something you don't expect and it plays against the conventions of the game.
Yeah.
And especially all of the games. So like you obviously going into this game, everyone kind of knew like they changed the voice actor for Igor.
Yep.
And that was based off of the Japanese version, which a lot of people assumed was like, oh, well, the original voice actor for Igor died. They're obviously going to have to recast Igor, considering this is a new mainline Persona game, and he's going to have a lot of voice lines. So, yeah, that makes sense. And they went pair and parity with, like, the English version, so, like, the voice sounds similar to how it does in the Japanese version. So you're like, okay, that makes sense.
It was interesting because when I booted it up and was playing it, I was like, wow, he sounds really sinister now. Because he never sounded like sinister. Like he was kind of creepy in 3 and 4, but he was never sinister. Like he sounded sinister in 5, and I was like, oh well, maybe that's just like the style they're going for this time.
Right.
And then I got to the twist. I was like, well, makes sense why he was sinister now.
Yeah. So like you find the Holy Grail at the end of Mementos. Like that's the final boss, and then it's like, well, I can't do anything because it just heals itself for a butt ton of HP, and you're kind of boned. Y'all disappear, and then you appear back in the Velvet Room, and he's like, You suck.
You failed.
You poop. I'm going to kill you now.
Time for execution.
And then Caroline and Justine, whatever. It's a weird pronunciation. They're supposed to kill you, but then they're like, no. And then they realize they've been split in 2, and you guillotine them and fuse them back into like their original form, which is
adorable.
Lavenza. And then Igor is revealed to be fake Igor. And it's basically like, yo, what's up? You want to make a deal? And you're like, no. He's like, well, peace out. We'll fight later.
Well, and he's floating.
Yeah, he's floating. And then real Igor comes up. He's like, whoa, hey.
What's been happening this whole time?
Welcome to the Velvet Room. And like, man, that's a real good twist. Because like, you would never expect like they'd twist like the whole thing of Igor being like, you know, obviously Igor's been in every single mainline Persona game, and like he's the guiding force behind like your actions, helping you gain more power and everything. And you would never expect like, oh, the real final boss has been Igor the entire time.
Yeah, it was intense. I really liked the twist. I was not expecting it.
No.
I figured once I got there and he's like, time for execution, I'm like, you're bad. You should stop. I figured something was up.
And obviously, it's a Persona game, so it has to end with like some kind of fight against a god
Right.
for the
I
true
mean,
ending.
as you do.
But like, yeah,
And yeah, I did not see it coming.
it was
Is
kind
what
of it was kind of a bummer. Like the same voice actor for Igor from 3 and 4 wasn't in this, but like the guy they got for this game does it very well. He
yeah, he
captures the
did.
same tone and cadence and all that sort of stuff. Which was it was kind of cool in the Japanese version when like you heard like the actual passed away voice actor for Igor saying or replaying his lines because they've been doing that for the 3 movies as well. And I was like, oh, that's real neat. They just like they're obviously reusing these lines, but it's actually Igor. Like that's real cool. But like yeah, I think that twist is very well done.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I liked it much better than the first twist.
Yeah.
I kind of saw the first. Well, I figured it out, and you were being coy with me. And then I was like, I know, I was right. I was right the whole time. You suck. You're terrible. I hate you. God.
The best part about knowing that Goro was the traitor is that like you could tell like I every time he came up I was like, you are being so disingenuous.
Yeah.
Like it's so obvious. Like you are a garbage human being.
Yeah. He's trash. Like I literally hate Goro. Like there's nothing redeeming about him. He was terrible. I hate that they tried to give him some form of redemption
Yeah.
at the end of his life, but like no, that guy can like not only put himself into a trash can, but he can light the trash can on fire with himself inside of it because he is terrible and that's what he deserves.
The bad thing about, they kind of set themselves up, unfortunately, because the marketing material really was like, they showed Goro at first with like the reveal DLC stuff, and then eventually they were like, oh, we gotta remove him. And now it was like a red flag, like, why would you do that? That's
Yeah.
strange. So that kind of like was kind of, if you've been paying attention to that, you kind of had an idea of where he was gonna go character-wise. But
Well,
also, oh, sorry, go ahead.
and the fact that like they showed the opening movie of it and he's nowhere in it.
True.
And I was
Point.
like,
I didn't think of that.
that's really weird that like this character who supposedly joins your side is nowhere in the opening movie. Like that was a red flag for me.
I think like though, in terms of traitor characters, like his whole arc and just character is just very boring. Like there's nothing interesting about like his turning. It's just like, oh, my dad was the kind of crappy dude. I'm gonna get back at him. And like the entire time he's like flip flopping back and forth between like, oh, I'm a good guy, guys, but I'm gonna trash you guys. I'm very obviously making my terms of being a traitor.
Well, and I know I texted you about it. Like his backstory and Futaba's are real similar. They're not like exactly lined up, but they're pretty similar. And Futaba turns out to be a real legit character. So like I don't know, it's kind of like the whole played out trope of like I have to do this to impress somebody who abandoned me and da 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 da. But like also I think that he was just literally unhinged.
Yeah.
Like that boy had problems.
And I think in terms of like if you compare him to like Adachi, who like they have kind of a similar arc of like, kind of go crazy with new power and end up becoming a traitor. Like I think Adachi's character is way more interesting because especially
Adachi was better at hiding his villainous ways.
And you have that whole thing of like he has those inroads into your family in that game, which makes it even more crazy. Anytime Goro shows up, it's just like he's disingenuous to you because he tries to act like you're his buddy and everything. So every time I get like an answer to him, I'd be like, I would give like the worst answer possible.
I always gave the like go away answer.
Yeah, and then like he just show up on TV and be like, "Oh, these Phantom are so dangerous. Oh man, they're real bad, you guys." It's like, well, you're just pretty much forecasting that you're gonna do something bad to us. Like, come on.
I don't know. I want to give his voice actor a lot of credit because he knocked it out of the park. But
shout out to Robbie Draymond.
Yeah, for real. Like, whoa, buddy, you pull off the crazy real well. But like I was saying, Adachi really is a lot better at hiding his villainy. And And Goro was like kind of blatant about it, so that was a little annoying. But I don't know. I told you I hated him. I didn't like him at all, and like I know 100%, which we've already talked about this, like me and you personally, but we haven't talked about it on the podcast yet. I know that this guy's gonna turn out to be another like Komaeda Adachi type thing, where like,
trust me, he already is.
oh, it's so gross. Like, I hate when people like lose their shit over characters like this. Like, they're not good characters, they're not good people, and yet people will like completely lose their mind over them and like think that they're the best character ever and they did nothing wrong. And I'm like, no, like they literally tried to kill us multiple times. They weren't good. What is wrong with you?
And both
but
of them,
I think
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think that it's honestly because they're like traditionally attractive characters.
Yeah, Komaeda, the real attractive dude.
No, but like girls legitimately think he's very attractive. Like it's a thing.
I'll shrug my shoulders at that.
Well, you're also not into dudes.
I
mean, to my knowledge, you might be into dudes. I don't know.
I'm just saying I can understand like when a dude's attractive or not. Not that I'm saying I swing that way, but like, Komaeda, really?
Do you think Adachi's attractive?
I mean, probably personally no, but I can understand why people might.
Okay, do you think Goro's attractive?
I can understand why people might. Komaeda,
Okay.
though, no clue.
I mean, I get it. I can see it. Either way, being attractive does not excuse behavior. And I feel like that's a real bad thing that happens in video games, is that like people latch on to these like really garbage characters because they're cute, and it really annoys me. There may be other reasons, but it seems to be like this weird like internet fetishizing that I've noticed. Anyway, this is my personal rant. I'm sorry. Goro sucks.
But I think like you bring up a good point. Like, you know, those other two characters that you brought up are way more interesting than Goro is.
Yeah, I mean, if you're thinking about like Komaeda's arc, he actually had like a really interesting arc. He was still a person and a character. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to edit.
That's fine.
But like he was actually like, you were interested to see like where they were going with him. Goro, I figured his out somewhat early.
Yeah, you were pretty early.
Yeah. Part of that is Wiki's fault, but part of it was also because he's not subtle. Like he's
Nope.
not subtle at all, and like he makes a slip up really early in the game that I was like, wait a minute, he wouldn't know that. There's no way he would know that.
Which meant I always had to be like, crap, how do I play this off?
I was wondering when I texted you that you were being coy. I was like, that means he knows something. That means I'm right.
Well, you also texted me first, like, you're like, Goro kills Futaba's mom? And I was like, I literally didn't know that, so I was like, huh. And you were like, what does that mean? Is he the traitor? I was like, no, I just didn't know that.
But then, yeah, he says something at like really early that I was like, you shiesty little dude, you snake.
It's why the meme around him is that he's the pancake boy. Because he hears you talking about pancakes, or he hears Morgana talking about pancakes, and he's like, oh yeah, you guys were talking about pancakes, huh?
Yeah, pancakes.
Which is it's a real dumb reason to find out that someone's a traitor.
Yeah,
Pancakes.
but pancakes. And it's not even real pancakes. Like, if it were actual pancakes, that'd be great. But she was talking about, like, a building, wasn't she?
Well, it was like a place that you could go get pancakes.
Oh, okay. Because I thought there was a misunderstanding on her part of, like, what the building actually was.
But I think though as well, like they do good things around when you go to entrap him, where it's like, you know, oh, your memory's going out when like there's like specific moments like your memory gets all fuzzy, and it's like, well, these are the moments where like you're talking to Morgana about like the first one happens like right after he basically blackmails you into having him join.
Yeah.
And it's like everyone leaves except for you and Morgana. Morgana's like, hey, everyone's leaving. and then like your memory gets all fuzzy, but then like you eventually go and see that back, and Morgana's like, so that's not the first time he's heard me talk, right? Like he heard us during the social studies trip. Like this guy's gonna be no good. And it's like, and like your first option is like, don't trust him. I was like, click.
Yep. And I remember I asked you at one point, I was like, oh, wow, my screen's fuzzy. I don't know what that's about. And you're like, Jared, traditional coy stuff when he knows things that I don't know.
Well, I think the first time you said it, I didn't remember what you're talking about. Then I got it, and I was like, oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. You're going to find this out later.
Yeah. So that was cool. And I do want to mention that I really liked that most of the game was told like via flashback. Like that was really, really neat.
When I first saw that in Japanese version, I was like, that's an awesome idea.
Yeah.
I was like, I really wanted to tell you about it, but I was like, I can't do it, so I had to wait until like now to be like, dude, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's so rad. I like it a lot. And it's cool because like whenever you unlock like a social link or whatever, then like the calendar goes all fuzzy and like starts rolling to a day, and you're like, oh man, this is so cool. So I like that a lot. It was really, really neat. It was a good way of like framing the story. Mm-hmm. And it also was like a method of like encouraging you to get through the story because like you want to know what the heck happened here.
Yeah, definitely.
And they were like threatening to break my leg and junk. I'm like, oh, this sucks.
Those police were not very nice when they're like, hey, we need your name. Let's input your name.
Like they literally told me like, we need your hand to sign this, but we don't care if you lose a leg. And I was like,
yeah, it's very rough. Which you went with the manga name for your guy.
I did. Because usually whenever I name things in Persona games, I go with Trey McMaster. But I'm kind of turned off by the name McMaster lately because of politics. So I was like, well, I'll go with something different.
I'll go with the canon name once it's like figured out that it's canon, which usually means like when the anime version comes out. So like I know people argue vehemently about, the manga name's canon. It's like, no, history says that it usually doesn't become canon. Sorry, Soji Seta. But
Yudarakami's a better name anyway.
Yeah. I went with the dumbest name I could. Mr. Joey Nanjo the Fourth. Because I'm gonna get this story back to the original games one way or the other, even if I have to do it myself. And also that plays into the fact that a family of the Nanjos would have a real bad English translation name, which I didn't realize until like literally today. Also, having him be the fourth is a real dumb goof, and it also becomes JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
It does. Good job.
That was the one reason I wanted to make like a Joe and then a Joe at the end name. And I was like, Nanjo would work. That also ties into Persona. I'm brilliant.
God. Oh my lord.
It was kind of weird though. Every time like they would put up the name Joey because like I have a cousin named Joey, so that was kind of real weird. I was like, yeah, okay.
All right. I'm trying to think where we should go now.
I guess we could start off by saying like the opening of the game is real dark.
Oh, it is. Like the entirety of like the first dungeon bit is like real messed up. And I know that we don't want to do like a whole play-by-play of like literally everything that happens in the game.
Because we'll do 7 hours.
7 hours, right. But this entire game touches on some really dark stuff. Like it's got suicide, it's got sexual assault, it's got child abuse, it's got like even further child abuse of like starvation of a child and like treating them like a literal animal. It's got parents who treat their children as like their property. I mean, it's got some real messed up themes in there.
It's bad when like the Yakuza character is like the most tame out of everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which also kind of weird. They're like, he's a mafia guy. It's like, you guys can say Yakuza. Like,
Yeah.
you pretty much have everything else in Japanese here. That's real weird.
It was weird, but he was out of like all the dungeons. He was probably that was another thing is like employee exploitation. That was messed up. Um, but he was the most tame out of all of them, and I was like, wow, they're usually real messed up guys.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, if you play the Yakuza games, it'll change your understanding of how the Yakuza operates.
okay.
Because sometimes you gotta adopt a little girl who turns into an idol, and then you have like all these other guys. It's very complicated. That's why there's like 7 games of them. Anyways, first dungeon dude, he's a real piece of work. Like,
You
holy
could say
cow.
he's a piece of.
Yeah, like they basically insinuate that he either attempted or raped Shiho.
Oh
Like,
no, it's not. It's not insinuated. It's straight up said
Okay,
that he
yeah.
was you.
And that's
He
what leads her to trying to commit suicide. Which literally, when I had no context of what was going on in the Japanese version, like, and she stands there on the roof of that building, I was like, oh, like I was
Yeah.
getting flashbacks to the end of Life is Strange episode 2, which has a very similar scene in it. But
Well, and like after she falls, somebody's like, "Oh, her leg's not supposed to bend that way." I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh God."
like, she probably should have died.
Probably.
But somehow she survives, and like that's the catalyst to you going and that dude up. Which, man, talk about a dude that deserved it.
Right. Well, and like that's another thing is that like he rapes her because he was
do the same
using
thing to Anne.
right. He was trying to get Anne to sleep with him in exchange for keeping her position, her best friend's position on the volleyball team. And like through his dungeon at certain points, like you end up seeing like girls in their gym uniform, and like Anne's character is running around like in a bikini and like hanging off of him and like basically like praising everything that he does. And it's super gross. Like it's super gross.
Though, I think there is a bit of like a discrepancy of how the game handles Anne. Because like the whole arc of that dungeon is like she's being exploited.
Yeah.
In various ways. But the game will also have the other male characters oogle her when her shirt's see-through in the desert.
I also thought that was gross.
And then at the on the boat, they're basically like, "Oh, let's have all the girls go out in their bikinis and try to seduce this dude."
Yeah. And that was one thing that I was upset about prior to release is that like I knew that the first dungeon was about like her and her sexuality and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was mad because like so much of like pre-release stuff was like her being sexualized. I'm like, guys, really? For one, she's like 16 years old.
Right.
And two, like literally she just went through like nearly, I mean, it essentially was like a sexual harassment, sexual assault type situation. Like,
And
you
pretty
don't
much like
want
the entire class calling her like a slut and a whore because of like what they think she's been doing with this teacher.
right. Like, you don't want to keep putting this onto this girl. Like, it was gross. I didn't like that. And I don't like that there are certain characters that are always like hypersexualized in games. And she ended up being the one this time. Actually, they had a situation in her on the beach where she like had her boobs like pushed together, and they were like, "Oh." Although at that point, she made a joke about it because she was saying like, "Oh, Ryuji, you don't think I'm so bad anymore, do you?"
Because he basically tries to make like grabby hands at her.
Yeah.
And she just plays it off like this guy's an idiot, which
Yeah.
probably, I mean, I think the relationship between Ryuji and Anne is like a lot more playful, so maybe they could get away with that. But even still, like it's still gross.
Yeah, yeah, especially like again, this is a girl who like literally just went through like sexual harassment, assault type situations, and her best friend tried to commit suicide because she was raped by a teacher. Like maybe we shouldn't play up her sexuality so much, guys.
Yeah.
That was annoying.
What else should we talk about?
Yusuke's best character.
I was
Period.
literally just thinking about saying that.
End of story. No question. Yusuke is best character. Yusuke is best character. Yusuke is best character.
Which I have seen argued that his introduction is also a way of exploiting Anne. But I don't necessarily see it, and it can be viewed in that way. I won't deny that. But I don't necessarily see it as him trying to exploit her. I think he's just very oblivious and is like, he wants to do it for art, but is kind of dumb in that way. And just like, this is okay, right?
Yeah, like it's shown throughout the game he's very socially awkward. Like he doesn't understand where lines are crossed. And his thing, I mean, they kind of imply that he has kind of a crush on her at one point, but then he also is saying, like at another point, that he can't draw her anymore because now he knows her personality. Which, whoops.
And also he's okay with everyone getting naked, apparently.
He is like he doesn't seem to have that kind of boundary. He's great. I guess I could see where that argument would come up, but I didn't read it like that. I read it as more like he doesn't understand that like that's not okay.
Yeah.
Because he has more of like concepts of aesthetics in mind, and also you have to consider that like this guy is like going through really terrible types of like child abuse situations, and he's like on a huge deadline of trying to figure out what kind of art he's supposed to do. So not only is he oblivious, but also he's like extremely stressed out to the point that like, you know, he's definitely being abused and trying to figure out what he needs to do.
I certainly was not coming into this game thinking that Yusuke was going to be my favorite character.
Oh, I love him so much.
He really became like the best character of this game. Just,
I mean, he's a slam dunk. His writing is amazing. Like throughout the game, like his social link's great. The storyline, every line that he has is great. Like he is such a good character.
Like all of his like line delivery is well done. Like the comedic timing he has, unintentionally, mind you, is just so good. Man.
Well, and again, like A+ to Matt Mercer because he nailed it. Like his delivery was perfect.
Absolutely.
There was literally not a line that Yusuke said that was poorly done.
And then he also has like that weird kind of like rivalry with Futaba.
I love the rivalry with Futaba. I think it's great. And she's just like, Inari, and he's like, what? He gets so offended. And
the lobster scene on the beach.
The lobster scene on the beach, and then there's a scene where he decides to like disassemble her like essentially the Power Rangers the for aesthetics, and she's like, oh!
Which like he just randomly leaves at one point and then comes back with 2 lobsters like, I got these lobsters, isn't this great? Everyone's like, why do you have those?
Aesthetics. Like he's literally hashtag aesthetics. But I also love the fact that like it's shown throughout the game that he has like no sense of how to work with money. Like there's all kinds of, that was one of them is the lobster scene because he's saying that like he has no money but he spent all of it on the lobsters. And then there's another scene where he's talking about like how he spent all of his money on a DVD about an artist and he wanted to watch it with the main character. Like it's an ongoing thing that Yusuke doesn't have a sense of like how to deal with money, and it's pretty funny. Like he always just buys art related stuff and then is like, all right, I can't eat now.
I there was a scene at the end, like at the New Year's Eve scene, like after you go back to jail. Spoilers, you go back to jail.
You go back to jail
after beating a god because like they're like,
what a downer.
we kind of need you to testify, but also you kind of have to be held accountable. Which whoops. But like when they meet up, he's just like, why did we have to meet up in person? This is real weird.
We have phones.
Yeah, we have phones, and then we made up, talk for like 2 minutes, and then I'll leave.
Spurs, yep. He's great. Although I was upset with the fact that they used him as like gay jokes, and you know they did kind of queer bait. But I think like I know a lot of people were upset that you couldn't date him. And honestly, if it had been an option, I would have dated him. But I don't think that his sexuality is very explicit.
No.
So I know a lot of people are saying like, "Oh, you can't argue with me that he's not gay," and I'm like, "Well, I don't see it reading either way. Like, I don't see him reading as straight, and I don't see him reading as gay. Like, maybe bi, but like,
Maybe.
um, honestly, I think his sexuality is art.
Like, no joke. Like, that dude could just be asexual for all we know.
He could like
Yeah.
it really. I mean, it doesn't matter. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, true.
It really doesn't matter. But um, in terms of maybe some kind of sense of representation, it would matter. But I think honestly, if you're going to attach a label to him, asexual is the best label that you're going to get.
Just because like his character, it just seems like he has no interest in that sort of stuff whatsoever. I mean, obviously, the conversations that those characters have don't necessarily go in that direction per se.
Right.
But also, it's just like, with the way his character acts and everything, like it wouldn't be surprising if that was the case, or if like he just didn't know it, but it was just kind of like how he acted, anyways.
I think the only scene that would point in any kind of direction that would be like, oh, hey, maybe he is somewhat straight, is that there's a scene where they pop out of the metaverse and he's holding on to her, onto Anne, pretty tightly, and then she gets upset with him for holding on to her.
Well, I think it was just him trying to like catch her and make sure she was okay.
I didn't read it that way. I didn't read it that way at all.
Really?
Yeah, I especially after the whole thing with the painting and all, I didn't read it that way. And he was also looking at her boobs too, and the whole car thing.
Yeah, that is true.
Well, so
he's the one that's like looking the other way. He's looking at more like Makoto than Anne. It's the scene where she's like wringing out her kimono, or yukata.
Oh, right.
Where like they all three are looking the opposite way.
They're all looking at her. Yeah. Okay. So one of them, he's definitely implied that he was looking. And I know that he was smug as crap in the scene in the car. I don't remember why he was smug, but he was very smug.
For it.
He did. But he's great. He's best character. And I mean, we talked about that. Goro sucks. As a reminder, Goro sucks. He also dies. I guess we should mention that.
Dies. Quotation marks. Because the only line you get out of that after all the stuff that happens in what's his face's dungeon?
Shido?
Yeah,
I'm on a boat.
Shido's dungeon is that like obviously his shadow comes out and attacks him, which he shoots the shadow, and then like the wall goes up, and then you hear 2 gunshots. So it's never implied like who gets shot or if someone gets shot or anything. And then after you defeat the big old dude on Christmas Eve, Sai basically was like, "Oh yeah, Goro's been missing," and that's all you know.
Well, and Futaba does say that there's no reading.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's really, really he's dead.
Yeah, it's like 95% sure he's dead, but still, like the game never is like explicitly like, "Yo, he's dead."
Well, I mean, there would be no way for there to be a body, so
I guess that's true. Because they never say like what happens when you actually die in the metaverse, like. There's never like, oh, well, your body's gonna pop out, like like the TV world or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
So like, and the metaverse for the ship is gone. So like, his body's gone. There's no way to prove that he's dead, but he's dead.
Yeah.
Which good. Ugh, I hate that guy.
Though I think like the first twist obviously is when he reveals himself as a bad guy, which no one saw coming at all. Let's be real. So shocking. And then he comes into your interrogation room after Sai's done her interrogation.
That shocked me.
When he headshots you?
When he headshots you and you start bleeding on the floor, I was like, what?
I remember when I played through that the first time, I texted you and I was like, I think I just got the bad ending.
Well, and that's the spoiler I saw, is that I saw on Tumblr, I was like, when Goro shoots the main character, I'm like, what? Why would that happen? Why would he shoot him?
Which is also the bad ending you get if you don't necessarily, like...
Save somebody?
Save someone, I think. Which kind of spoils that, which is real weird. But, like, so that happens, and it's basically all a farce. Like, but one of the, like, the coolest scenes in that game is, like, you see him face down in his blood, the protagonist, and then like the guard who got shot fades away, and then like it pans back to you, and you're
Sitting in the
just
chair.
sitting in the chair, sitting there, and like you just smirk. I'm like,
Smirking.
that's a cool guy move right there.
Oh my god, it was so bad. Like, I was so impressed by him at that point. Oh my god, I loved it. I loved that scene. Because it scared me too when he got shot. I was like, what the heck is going on? And then I texted you, and I was like, I think I got the false ending that like you were talking about. And then it came around and did the smirk, and I'm like, oh man, what a boss.
Yep. And then you get all that like that the information you missed from like the drugs messing with your memory, like all that comes back, and it's like, well, here's how we did all this. Especially because like I didn't remember necessarily like, how Futaba was involved in it, but when she grabs Goro's phone before you go into Shido's dungeon the first time,
what a good girl.
like I was like, she's being way too obvious about this and holding onto that phone way too long to not be doing something.
And see, I didn't even think about it because she's so awkward anyway that I thought that like she was just being weird.
But also, like, I just had in my mind, like, well, obviously, I knew he was bad, so I figured they were doing something there. So that's the only reason I would have had like that tipped off for me.
Yeah, it was really, really good. I loved that twist. I mean, they just played him like a fiddle. It was great. It was great.
Thanks, Master Miller.
I was so happy. I do want to mention, as somebody with actual social anxiety, they did a really good job with Futaba.
Yeah.
Like, really good. One of the things is that her social link is great because how it works is essentially she has like a list of things that she wants to do.
She calls like the promise list.
The promise list, and it's things of like, I want to go buy a video game at this place, and I want to do this, and I want to be able to be okay without you around, and like that's a very real thing that you have to deal with when you have social anxiety, is like making huge deals out of like going to do minor things. And you know, she does the same thing that I do in a lot of like overwhelming social situations, and that she just kind of shuts down.
Right.
So that was really, really real, and I felt that was great. I was kind of worried how they were going to handle her. Again, as somebody who actually has like a diagnosed issue with this, I was worried that it's going to be played mostly for jokes, and they do play some of it for jokes, but it was a great handling. And that's one thing that I guess we could tie back to Tokyo Mara Sessions as well, is that we've had two characters in the past year that deal with some kind of like mental disorder that Atlas did a really good job with.
Surprisingly, because like usually you would expect like a character that has some sort of like mental issue, like usually it's not played well.
No, it's usually not. So I was impressed with that. A+ job on that, guys.
I guess like I can't ask you this because I heard rumblings about this before the game came out, of how they handle Futaba's romance, and how it was very weird and like iffy. And like the thing I read was like it felt like you were forcing her into like a relationship or something. So I that's why kind of like one of the reasons I didn't do that one. Obviously, just because I didn't have stats as well, that didn't help. But you went through and did her social link, maxed it out, got the romance option for her. How exactly did that play out?
Yeah, it didn't feel like that at all. I keep getting phone calls, sorry. So it's how it usually works is, again, like a lot of it is I'm trying to think of the best way to word this. So a lot of it is doing the whole like conditioning of taking her out and trying to get her out in the world and get her more comfortable around people, that kind of thing. Once you get to the romance element of it, it's on her like bullet point of like be okay without you around.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially what she says is, I don't want to do that. I want to be around you. And then like you can respond in a like positive way, and that's what triggers like a romance.
It's like the whole like, oh, the romance option, and the other one's like the friend option.
Right. So that's how it really came across on this one, is that like she's done a lot of personal growth, and she realizes that like she cares about you, so she doesn't want to be away from you, which is really pretty common, at least in my experience. Of again, I go through this, that once you find somebody that you're extremely comfortable with, you don't really want to be without them,
Right.
because you kind of feel like they're like a security blanket type thing. But then as the romance continues, like on her Max Link, you find out that she did in fact go by herself to go buy a Catherine figure of all things.
That's fantastic.
It was so good.
That's real good.
But it didn't feel forced at all. It was very much her coming around and being like, I want to do this. And then, you know, at one point, one of the options is you say that you're in love with her, and she's like, oh, that's what this emotion is. I didn't understand that.
I thought it was just going to be her going like, oh, okay.
No, it's her like trying to figure out like, oh, I've never felt this for somebody before, and so I'm kind of conflicted in what this feels like. And then I ended up getting a lot of really funny conversations with her guardian, in the sense that he's like, now don't go dating Futaba. I'm like, oops. Yeah, like on the, is it Valentine's Day?
So
He's like,
how does he handle the Valentine's Day event then?
that's what I was going to say, is on the Valentine's Day event, he's like, oh, there's so many couples coming into the cafe. Oh, it's Valentine's Day. And then like Futaba shows no, he says like, oh, do you have anybody special that you're going to hang out with? And then Futaba walks in. He's like, oh, you have a lot of stuff. You didn't bring anything for me. And then like he realizes what's going on. And he's like, oh, well, don't get caught up in the emotions of the holiday, guys.
So like, obviously, I guess that would be different because it would have to be very specific to Futaba. But I went after Hifumi, and when she shows up on Valentine's Day, he goes through that whole spiel of like, you know, oh, there's a lot of couples here. It's Valentine's Day. Do you have anyone? She shows up, and he's like, he looks at you, he's like, oh, I see. You guys have a good time, huh? I'll get out of your way.
So it's very different when you date his daughter.
Yeah.
He's just like, no, don't get caught up in the emotions.
And for me, he's just like, I know what you're doing. Wink.
Yeah, wink.
I'm out of here.
So that's funny. He says something on Christmas too, but I can't remember exactly what it was. But
so I guess like our like romance options would be a lot different because you had someone in the persona group.
Yep.
My guy, obviously, he's not going to mix business with pleasure. He's going to date outside of that. That's my reasoning. So, like, it made everything real weird, especially for, like, the Christmas event where, like, for both of us, the game will not let you tell your significant other that, like, you're about to go to jail, which I was like, tell her! Come on!
Right. And then she gets mad, and I was like, I think I screwed up.
Yeah, because, like, both girls said basically the same thing for us. It was like, because Hifumi basically was like, I figured something was on your mind, but you didn't want to say anything, so that's a bummer. So I'm just gonna leave. And I was like, no.
And that's pretty much exactly what Futaba says. Like, we've been together long enough, I know when you're lying to me, and I'm upset that you wouldn't trust me enough to say anything. And I was like, no, I'm sorry, come back.
But for the Valentine's Day event, like, Futaba would know you're moving back, right?
Yeah.
So that was the thing I had to break to Hifumi.
Yeah, no, Futaba, like, says multiple times, like, I'm gonna go, that's one thing she tells you, is that she's going back to high school.
Uh-huh.
And, she's like, I'm gonna get through high school, and then we can be together whenever we want. But then, like, she says to you, some of the effect of, well, you're going to be leaving, so let's make some kind of memory that will, like, last a long time, something like that. And I was like, whoa, buddy!
Bow chicka bow wow.
Getting it, Futaba.
So like you basically like there's like I think Hifumi's basically talking about like she's going to start like going back on the shogi circuit, and
Mhm.
she's like, oh, you're gonna support me, right? And he's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then like the option comes up is like, I'm moving back, or it's like it's both options, like I'm moving back to my hometown, and it's like she's like, oh, that's not good. That's basically like when you both sit together, and then she's like, well, I guess we were apart for like this month and a half. Like it's not gonna be that big of a deal if like you're in your hometown. Like we could go visit each other. Like it's no big deal. So I was like, yeah, resolution.
Yeah, and then Futaba like puts her head on your shoulder. I'm like, "Aww,
I'm
I
guessing
love
that's
it.
the generic animation that they do for the girls there.
I love it. I love it." Also, I think it's adorable. Um, so one of the things in Futaba's romance or in her social link or whatever, is that she tells you at one point that like whenever she did something good, her mother would always pat her on the head.
Mm-hmm.
So she asks like if you will do that for her, and so she does, and she's like, "Oh, that felt different. Something was different." And then when you max her social link, she comes up and she hugs you, and main character just comes up and starts patting her on the head. And I'm just like, "I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry." It was so cute. I loved it. I loved it a lot. But he pats her on the head.
I was surprised the protagonist even knew how to hug. Like he's breaking all Persona conventions. He can speak.
He can
And
speak. He speaks a lot.
yeah, it's real weird. He speaks a lot. Also, he knows how to hug people well. No
He
half
does.
hugs here or anything like that.
Mhm. No awkward, straight out arms.
Yeah,
Uh,
but like,
but
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, it was cute because she goes in to hug you, and for one, like the height difference is adorable. I love it. I'm a sucker for height differences, and like he's just patting her on the head, and it was a really good animation. Like it was not something I was expecting, and I'm sure it's somewhat unique to those two because like if he patted Hifumi on the head, it would be really weird.
Because they're basically the same height.
Is she that tall?
I think so.
Wow.
They're pretty much similar in height, I think. But I mean, you saw her max social link, so you know it's probably at least similar. It's just like she's like, oh well, my mom was basically using me, fixing all these matches for me to make me seem cool and like this idol. But now I'm gonna go back on the circuit and try and become legitimate again and everything.
Do it on my own merit.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. And then like obviously, the romance option makes that a little bit different. It's like, oh, relationship stuff. But like I really like at the end, especially, I mean, this happens for pretty much all the other outside of the Phantom Thieves group, of like once you get to their max social link, they'll be like, oh well, I know you're this person.
Yeah,
because she was the first one I had that happen, and she was basically like, so you're one of the Phantom Thieves, right? And it like comes up to all the options, like, oh, you can be like, yeah, that's me, or be like, maybe
deny
not.
it.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, obviously, like, trust here. Gonna throw that out there. Like, yeah, that's me. And she's just like, oh, well, my mom got better, like, immediately after you pretty much said that, or we talked about that, so I've kind of figured. And then she's just like, well, I guess, like, since we have this relationship now, like, I'm gonna support you no matter what. I understand why you're doing this. If you ever need help with anything, like, I got your back. And I was like, fist pump, yeah!
Freaking ride or die, man.
Fantastic. Hifumi, best girl.
We already had this conversation.
I'm sorry, I had to bring it up again. People are sleeping on Hifumi. She has some of the best social link skills you get, because she lets you.
I will agree with you on that.
She lets you switch out characters whenever, and lets you escape from battle when you get surrounded.
Yep. I will agree that she has some of the best ones, but again, we're not gonna argue over who's best girl. We're not doing.
I'm not here to argue. I'm just saying, like, I'll give you underrated. And I don't think you can argue that.
I mean, she definitely has some really good skills. I haven't seen a whole lot of internet discourse on this yet, other than I've seen people really vehemently arguing for Makoto, but
which we both kind of talked about. Like, I think Makoto was going to be like the first one. It was going to be the one I was originally going to go for, but I don't know, just like something about how her social link was going, and just like kind of the ways that the character or like the game, the main story was kind of like pushing those two together in weird ways.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Kind of pushed me off. Also, maybe this is one thing I don't like about Persona 5 is that like I felt like the other games, maybe 3 probably not as much, but 4 there was never like a hierarchy within the investigation team. Like everyone kind of felt as equals. And it feels like in 5, like once Makoto comes into the picture, like she's automatically just co-leader. And it felt real strange.
Yeah, I could see that. She is honestly my least favorite of all the like Phantom Thieves.
I could understand that. Like I don't know if I can objectively say that one way or another because I don't really know much about Haru.
Okay, that's true. I don't know a whole lot about her, but I also maxed. You say it different. I say it Makoto, but I maxed her Link, and I still don't like her.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. That's fair.
Like that. I understand her as a character, but as a person, I don't really like think that she's that great.
Yeah.
She reminds me a lot of Mitsuru, which I don't like Mitsuru either.
You're very, very adamant about that.
I do not like Mitsuru. I cannot stand Mitsuru.
I mean, they both fit that same archetype of third-year student council presidents.
Yeah. And also like very adamantly like about your grades and your study, and you got to keep up with all this stuff. And it's like, okay, I get that. I understand.
Thanks,
like,
Mom.
Right. Like, I already have Morgana telling me to go to bed. Like, I don't need you to tell me to study. Like, calm yourself.
Which I guess I never knew because obviously, playing the Japanese version and just never seeing much out of the discourse or anything. Like, I never knew she was a third year or Haru to that matter until playing this game. And I was like, huh, that's weird. The things you learn when the game's actually in a language you can understand.
How about that?
Which I guess speaking of characters that have twists that I didn't know, I didn't know Morgana was a creation from the Velvet Room.
That was cool.
Yeah. I figured you would like that better, especially considering, the last new character from the Velvet Room that we got you really don't like. And Ladyem's favorite character, Marie.
I can't believe, like, I am personally offended that you just said that sentence out loud.
Let me apologize for that.
You should.
It was very rude of me.
It was very rude. That's like kicking my cat.
Oh, jeez.
Though.
Do you know the voice actors for Marie is also the voice actors for Hifumi?
No, I didn't know that.
And also the voice actress for Diana in Zero Time Dilemma.
Oh, hey. How about that?
2 better characters than Marie.
100%. Yes, I agree with you on that. The voice acting in 5 is great. Other than some of the name.
We should definitely mention that. Like, I know a lot of people obviously are very against the English voice acting, especially because
as they always are.
Yeah, especially because they made the big deal like, oh, we're going to include the Japanese voice acting now as DLC because the game got delayed, and everyone like creamed their pants about that. But for a lot of this game, like, I mean, there's kind of some hiccups, like we said, with names and all that sort of stuff. But the English voice acting is real good. It's
really good. Like all the delivery is just on point. And I was actually excited. We mentioned like a couple minutes ago that the main character actually talks a lot. He's somewhat of a chatterbox.
It's surprising. It's almost like you're just like, wait, who said that? The main character?
I said that.
What? You're not supposed to say anything until like the very last scene of the game or something.
But his voice actor did a really good job. I was impressed.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Still, Matt Mercer is best, 100% best.
I guess we should also say like Keith Silverstein did a phenomenal job as Shino.
Yes, he did. He did a great job as Shino. Like, he legitimately was somewhat terrifying in scenes, and I'm like, wow, buddy, like, you nailed it.
Like, if you want to get a good villain voice, like, he does that top notch, and
he does.
Man, he knocked it out of the park here.
He did. He did a great job. Like, he can sell you some villainy like real well.
Which, I mean, obviously, like, we've both watched Miraculous, so like
Yep.
we know him as Hawkmoth, and he does good in that. But also, I mean, he's Speedwagon in JoJo, so like that's completely
He is.
different.
He was in something else that you watched or played recently, but I can't remember what it was.
I mean, I can look it up real quick.
I'm gonna stall for time by saying I'm gonna stall for time.
Gee, thanks.
No problem. But he really did a great job with this, and
Oh, he's in Zero Time Dilemma.
is he?
Yeah, he's Eric.
Oh, right, that's what we were talking about. He was Eric, which is again a completely different role.
Yep.
Um,
It's like we were talking about with Robbie Draymond, who, like he's Goro in this, which is a different role than he's like Prompto in Final Fantasy 15, and also he's Tuxedo Mask in the new Sailor Moon dub, which all three very different characters.
right. Well, and also like you can even consider Goro two different characters because once
True.
he like has his breakdown, like holy crap, he knocks it out of the dang park. Like his voice acting is good when he's like regular Goro, but he's kind of boring, like he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be like a charming detective prince.
Yeah.
But man, when he does his psychotic break, you're just like, what? Like he's scary.
Yeah.
And his like battle voices, like when he's summoning Loki and everything. Which, for the record, I want to tell you, I don't know if I told you this. He would summon Loki and like he would yell out Loki.
Oh no.
And my cat would come running, and he's like, "What? What? Who wants me?"
That's fantastic.
And I was like, "Buddy, I'm sorry. It's okay." So he just ended up sitting on the couch with me during that fight because like his name kept getting called.
That's amazing. Which I guess that also we should say like he's one of the few non-Persona protagonists that has the wild card ability.
That's the wild card. Yep.
Which I guess the game doesn't really do much with, in all honesty, but that's there.
Yeah, I mean it's explained that like the god set it up like to see like who would win the game essentially.
It was just pitting him against protagonists and all that jazz.
Although I don't understand, maybe it's just like inherent ability, but like why Goro only got 2, whereas Protag can do any that he wants.
Right. Yeah, that's a good question that we don't have the answer to, but yeah.
It may have just been ow, sorry, I'm getting bit. It may have just been like personality style or whatever, like maybe Goro was unable or unwilling to have any sense of like personal growth, so he was stuck at 2.
Yeah, it may have just been like he just didn't care either. Like he's like, I got these 2, I'm good.
So I don't know, but yeah, he had the wild cards. That was an interesting little bit there because he had who was his original persona? I didn't even use them, so I don't know. Robin Hood, and Loki.
Your cat's gonna come running in now and be like, "What?"
Oh, he was the one that was just biting.
I figured that was it.
He's aware that his name is being said and is unhappy about it. Man, if we ever have a game where I have to say Maxwell multiple times, he'd just be like, What?
That little fluff ball just come in and be like, huh?
Yeah. Nah. But yeah, Loki just gets irritated. So he was very confused when Goro kept like scarily saying his name.
I mean, you're lucky you didn't play the Japanese voices, or else he'd just been mad the entire time.
Oh right, yeah. My cat doesn't like Japanese at all. My cat is, for some reason, really racist against Japanese people.
That's very true.
What a jerk.
I don't know. I don't know what else we could say story-wise that we kind of haven't already touched upon.
I don't know. I can't really come up with anything because we kind of touched on like the main themes. We talked about like corruption and all that jazz, and like what you did and didn't like, and we've really talked about everything that I wanted to talk about.
And all like the big twists and everything. Like, I mean, the game basically ends with like, you're supposedly going back to your hometown, but then like, I guess you're going to the ocean now.
Going to the beach.
I don't know. And then you stick your head out the window because that's a very safe thing to do. And then look directly at the camera.
Yep. With no glasses on because who needs to see?
Well, I mean, his glasses might have flown off if he did that.
No, not if you have good glasses.
I I guess I should ask this. Like, you obviously wouldn't have seen this, but after the Japanese version came out and a lot of people started beating it, there was a lot of discourse around the idea that this game was incomplete. And
Really?
yes, and that people were very adamant that there was going to be an enhanced version of Persona 5 coming sometime in the near future.
I don't get that at all. Where are they getting that?
They probably only barely understood the story because of this Japanese, and that's why, most
Oh,
likely.
that makes sense. Like it felt very wrapped up to me.
Because I'm thinking about it, like there's no place in the story you could literally put anything new.
No, like you literally need to take out the whole like going to Hawaii trip. Like
Which literally, totally do that. There's no reason to put that in there. That
no,
entire trip was meaningless.
it was garbage.
Like the only thing it did was like introduce Haru a very tiny bit, and other than that, it was pointless. So the fact that the characters at the
Even
end of the
say
trip, like, this was
it's
dumb. Why did we come here?
yeah, and they're like, we're literally just doing everything that we did in Japan here. Like it was terrible. I hated that part of the game. I really, really didn't like it.
Which
Like that's the one part of the game I can say I very much dislike.
yeah, because it completely just holds the story and everything.
It does.
To just like grinding hole. Like, but with my experience with like Japanese media and everything, like anytime I've seen like a high school trip to like some new like to some different part of Tokyo or Japan, excuse me, or like a different country, like those are very guided trips that the schools put on. Like it's like the first 2 days, like you are doing everything the school wants you to do, and then maybe the last day you have like free time to do whatever you want. But for this, it just seemed like, oh, the school just took them to Hawaii, and they just literally the teachers and everything just off and let them do whatever they want.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It did not need to be in there. There could have been a different introduction to Haru. Actually, there was a different introduction to Haru. She was doing plants, but it was garbage. I hated that part of the game, and it was. I mean, Yusuke was there, and that was weird.
Yeah, because like they're like Yusuke's like, oh, my school is going to Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
And they're like, oh, well, there's this huge storm, so clearly we got rerouted, and oh, we're in this exact same city that you are. So like Yusuke was there, Hifumi was there, so I got to hang out with her on the trip at the end of the trip. But yeah, it was like real weird. It was like it was just an excuse to bring those characters to the same place you were. So like I guess if like you were far down that road with like Yusuke and Hifumi, like you would be able to hang out with them on this trip. But even then, it's still like it was dumb.
Yeah, but even then, like I was like at like rank 6 or something with Yusuke, and I didn't get to hang out with him.
Yeah, like you got like, I got 3 options for who to hang out with at the end. You only had like Ryuji and Mishima.
Yeah, and it was weird because I had people maxed, and I'm like, oh, and I had people like pretty far along on the ranks. I'm like, why am I not getting to hang out with anybody? But
yeah,
it was a dumb scene anyway. I will commend them for not putting a hot spring scene in the game.
But then you got 2 beach scenes.
You do have 2 beach
which
scenes.
Which is kind of similar, but like especially like the Hawaii trip especially is kind of real dumb, is because like, you know,
it's like a week or 2 after the first.
It's like we just had this huge beach scene excursion, and now we're kind of doing the same thing again. And then like the month of October is also real dry and devoid of anything happening.
Things went to hell in October.
I thought that was the one month you were saying like things weren't happening.
Was it? I thought things like got really weird in October because that was when we were like building up to Haru, and like the school trip sucked, but like after that it was just like things are being really, really weird. Like you knew that something was building up.
Maybe it was just like there was a couple of like a week or so delay just between like the end of the school trip and then things starting to happen. Because like you had maybe it was like near the end of the month because like you have the school festival happen.
Yeah.
But that also cuts you out of having days to do anything. And literally the
school...
Yeah,
but I had fun with it, though.
Oh, yeah. But the school festival is literally only a setup for... Goro. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, although I did really enjoy him, like, really hurting himself. That was awesome. By eating the spicy...
Yes, that was a very good scene. I was like, yeah, eat it.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm like, yep, good. You deserve it.
Get lost, punk.
Like, clearly
Why'd
the
you
one
say
that's
that?
bright red, like, oh, I'm gonna eat this one. Dummy. You're supposed to be Ace Detective, more like Ace Defective. Get that call back? Get that? Oh, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Stupid. I don't even know where I was going with that. I hate that Hawaii scene.
But yeah, like I don't see how like they could add anything new to this game to make it like an enhanced edition, especially because
Oh, no.
you can't add anything to the time skips really, because the one time skip you're in jail,
You're in jail.
and the other
Like,
one
you're in
is
solitary confinement.
yeah, the other one is just a month till you go home, which really there's not much you're going to be able to do or really you could put in there because once that time happens, which is post Valentine's Day to the end of the game.
There's no metaverse.
Yeah, there's no place you can go to fight. So unless they install some really backwards contrived reason to let you go fight somewhere,
Yeah.
you're not gonna be able to do
No,
that.
it felt really complete to me. Like, I don't see where you could add anything in. And, like, unlike Breath of the Wild, where I would like some post game stuff, like, there's nothing that I could think of that, like, would be post game, like, where it would work. I just really don't see, like, how it would be considered an incomplete game. It had to have been because they didn't understand it.
And I know, like, people are, like, you know, obviously insinuating that there's going to be spin-offs because the Persona 4 formula has kind of attested to that. But really, if they try to do spin-offs of any kind for Persona 5, like, they're going to have to come up with some weird reason that allows them to go fight somewhere.
Right, they're going to have to retcon something. And, you know, one thing that I was thinking is that, you know, 4 kind of had, even though, like, there were literal murders, it had more of, like, a lighthearted feel to it. So, like, Dancing All Night and that kind of thing made sense.
Yeah.
But, like, if you're doing that with P5, which is, like, dealing with, like, rape and child abuse and, like, employee exploitation and, like, society apathy and corruption and all, like, it would feel real gross.
Yeah, it would just feel very out of place, I think.
Yeah. I can't see that working. I mean, like, you know, maybe they'd convince me eventually because, like, I'm a sucker for Persona games, but
And it's not even like they could really tie these back into tie 5 back into 3 and 4. Because 3 and 4 have a specific year that they're set in, and Persona 5 is set in the very specific year of 20XX.
and there are callbacks, especially to 4. Like, there's a mention of, like, Chie being in the police force. There's, like, oh, there's a girl in the police force that knows Kung Fu, which puts this post the fighting games.
Post all of the 4 spin-offs. Like, they very specifically mention Naoto.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, there's a new Detective Prince. It reminds us a lot of Naoto Shirogane.
Right.
They talk about the Amagi Inn, but I kind of skipped through that, unfortunately, to really know specifics. I know they're like, oh, this new manager of the Amagi Inn or something like that. So obviously...
So, like, no Snow, they're adults now.
Yeah.
4 has them as adults. But although Rize is still, like, going.
Her and Kaname, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm assuming they're somewhere between, like, 18 and 20-ish.
It's like, I don't know how you would be able to do a spin-off. You can't, like, and yeah, like, I mean, they obviously they tied 3 and 4 together and had the 3 characters be adults.
Right.
But, like, I don't know how you would do it with 5.
Yeah, I can't see how it would work. But again, I also feel like it would kind of, like, cheapen 5 because I felt like it was such a, like, serious story in terms of, like, societal issues that, like, I don't really want them to go and do, like, kind of lighthearted stuff afterwards.
Yeah.
I just don't. Like I said, I feel like it would cheapen it, but whatevs.
Shocker, people are very misinformed on the internet.
What?
I know, it's
Who would have thunk?
a revelation to us. But yeah, this is a long game.
Yeah. Like you said, we put, what, 7.5 days into it.
180 hours divided by 24 is 7.5 days. Yeah, combined.
Yep. Nice. Nice.
It's a long time to be playing a video game.
My sleep schedule is
A little
crap.
bit messed up, yeah.
Between me being sick and me playing Persona 5, like, I have not slept. It's a problem.
Now you can finally sleep. You don't have to have Morgana telling you to go to sleep. Unless you like install like a voice box into your Morgana plushie and it's like you just press it and it's like, you should go to sleep.
No, I'd throw her off the balcony.
But that would be a real good goof.
No, it wouldn't. It would make me throw her off the balcony. I'll do what I want, Morgana. I do really like the memes that have to do with like Morgana telling you to go to sleep, though. I think that's really, really good. And also, I saw a picture on Twitter that I sent you that like had the protagonist like petting Morgana, and she's like, "You're touching my butt."
It's real good.
Also, I always forget that Morgana is a guy. I consistently call him her because Cassandra Mora's voices, and I get confused. But
And
Morgana's a boy. Morgana's a boy. Morgana's a boy.
And also, you don't necessarily associate the name Morgana with
A boy.
a boy, so yeah. It can get confusing. Or if you're like me, you chose the third gender, which is car.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you that.
So it's very true.
Morgana is car.
Morgana's car. And can fix cars.
I like the plug joke at the end. That was good.
I just like at the end there, like, you see Morgana and it's got like
A screwdriver in his
screwdriver
mouth.
wrenches around. It's like, this is real dumb.
And he's a literal cat at that point. Like,
Yeah.
he's not the like cat form. He's a literal cat fixing a car.
Which,
It's wonderful.
why are they using a car that is obviously just broken down on the side of the road? Like, how did they get there, obviously?
Right, like, obviously Haru can afford to buy them, like, a nice car to travel in.
No, let's get this old beaten down thing.
Yeah, well, going on adventures. Maybe they stole it.
I mean, that's possible. They stole that plug from the police or whoever was trying to follow
police.
them.
That was so funny. They're like, why isn't the car starting? I borrowed a plug.
Poor kid. Gets out of juvie and still they're like, gonna follow this kid. He's gonna do something. Like, go to the ocean.
Well, they even proved that he didn't do anything in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, Shido's just a bag.
Terrible.
Terrible. All right, should we end it?
I don't really know much else to talk about, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we've, like I said, I don't want to do like a play-by-play of the entire game because that would take forever. But I feel like we've hit the major points. We talked about the twists. We talked about the story themes. We talked about some of the characters. We talked about our romances. We talked about what we didn't like. We talked about what we did like.
Can I say briefly though, the fake Famicom games was real good, especially the parody of Punch Out was a real good goof. But also like that when you beat a level in the fake Punch Out, that screen pretty much looked like the Punch Out screen once you finish a fight. So I don't know how they got away with that.
Yeah, it looked just like it. It was a little shiesty.
Oh, and also the way like there's a fighting game that you have to play as well. Trying to do dragon punches in that game on that D-pad is not good.
No. I could not get it to work. I literally couldn't get it to work.
It was like you had to like do it so fast, but like even then like it would take half of your inputs at times. And it's like, do this fireball motion, come on. It's like,
Yeah, it wouldn't work.
I have this stick right here, it would make it so much easier.
Well, especially because you have to do it so fast for it to actually recognize it. Like, to not be able to use the stick. Like, I know that, like, fighting game aficionados would be like, oh, D-pad, D-pad, D-pad. But, like, when it's, like, super quick or it completely obliterates all the inputs that you put in, like, it doesn't make sense. It would make a lot more sense to use the stick. But no stick allowed.
And especially like the last, I don't know if you got to the last part or anything.
Oh, I didn't even finish the first one.
So the last one, you have to do a half circle turn. It's like half circle and then back to right. So
No.
it's very hard.
No.
I would rather play the luck games compared to that.
Right. And there is a book that you can read that like makes video games easier, but I don't know how that works.
It basically gives you an option at the before you start it. It's like, do you want to use the book or not? And I think for that game specifically, it just gives you more time to get the inputs, which obviously doesn't really help that much.
Nope.
But
Ah.
but still, like getting to buy a fake Famicom and fake Famicom games at a fake Super Potato, it's a real good goof.
It was great. And also, we should mention that Tanaka is in this game.
Dark Tanaka, the cooler
And
Tanaka.
He's shady.
Literally.
Yeah.
So I never went back and did that to like see like what he was selling. Was it anything like cool or just like?
It was mostly accessories, because you have to keep buying things from him and spending more money to upgrade the store.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's real good.
And there's some decent stuff in there, but for the most part, it's too expensive.
But like I saw that like after I beat the Japanese version, I was like, where the f*** was Tanaka? Why does he have sunglasses? How did I miss
and
this?
I found him.
You did. You told me that. I was like, where?
Dark Tanaka, come to me.
It was like, oh, go fix the laptop. And I was like, I gotta go do this. Give me Dark Tanaka. That's so good. Like, just put shades on Tanaka and it makes him instantly cooler. I'm like, well done.
Well done. It was great. I'm glad Tanaka was there with the theme song and all.
And the parody Junes theme from the claw machine.
Oh, that was good too.
Pretty good. So yeah, like it's a long game.
It is. It is a long game.
Despite what I have said about this game, it's a good game.
It is a good game.
Probably not the best game of the year. It's still a very good game in a year full of very good games.
Yeah, and it's still early, so I don't know. But I really, really liked it. Like I said, I give it an 8 out of 10 easily.
That's an 80%. That's a B-.
Oh my god.
Someone's gonna come after you about that review score. Why didn't you give it a 9?
Why didn't you give it a 10?
Everyone else is giving it a 9 and a 10s. I'm an internet commenter. It's my internet commenter voice.
You sound like a grandma.
That's. I'm gonna let you in a little secret. All internet commenters are grandmas.
Oh my god, grandmas, calm yourself. It's not that serious. Although, like,
grandmas are really interested in the discourse of Persona 5 review scores.
I believe it. I mean, our grandma's also interested in the discourse of Final Fantasy 15 and the movie and Breath of the Wild.
Yes, very much so.
Dang it, grandmas, get a hobby. But I don't know. I think an 8 out of 10 is really good. I think that's a good score.
I mean, in today's review climate.
Okay, so like if IGN gave it 8 out of 10, they would be like, it's unplayable.
It's so. I mean, this is very off topic, but it's just so strange how like the review culture of games, you know, thanks to Metacritic, especially, has like rendered like, you know, like 20 years ago a 7 through 8 in terms of like, you know, review score 70 to 80%. Like, yo, that's a really good game. And now like a game gets a 7, and it's like, oh, well, that's pretty average, I guess. It's
right. Like, that's what I'm saying is like sometimes a game will get a 7. People are like, that's literally unplayable. Like, I cannot play a 7. And I'm like, wow, okay.
Like anytime I've ever had to review something, it's always been under the ideas of like, hey, if it's a 5-star scale, 1, bad, 2, has problems, probably kind of poor, 3, average, 4, good, 5, great.
Right.
Simple.
Easy.
But, you know, things like Metacritic have kind of distorted that to where, like, you know, there are companies out there that literally tell their employees, hey, if we don't get an 80 or above on Metacritic, you're not getting any bonuses.
Sorry, that was a poorly timed cough. But,
it's a good
or maybe it was a perfectly timed cough. That's gross. Well, on your scale, I'd give it a 4 out of 5.
And see, I would debate about giving it a 3 or a 4.
Yeah. I can't give it a 5. I just cannot. Like, I can't give it a 5. I can't give it a 10. There's no way I could do that. I had too many issues with, like, certain gameplay mechanics and certain, like, inconsistencies and all that. But overall, I had a great time with this game, and I really liked it. So
there you go.
There you go. Make of that what you will.
Sounds like a recommended to me.
Recommended, yeah.
I've only given one game that I've reviewed a not recommended.
Was it World of Final Fantasy?
It was not World of Final Fantasy. It was Steins Gate Zero.
Oh, wow!
I did not like that game.
Wow.
But also, it's kind of weird and subjective because, like, obviously, I'm just picking the games I want to review. So obviously, that's going to lean more towards games that I like. So that's kind of a weird thing.
Did you play World of Final Fantasy and review it? I mean, I know you played it, but did you review it?
I didn't review it. The only thing we came close to was when we talked about it on this podcast in the Grab Bag episode.
Okay. I was gonna say, if you reviewed it and you recommended it to people, we're gonna have to talk about this, buddy.
That would definitely be a not recommended.
Okay, yeah, because our podcast, I know, tore it apart as it should have been.
Unless that game got cut in half and it was like just the first half of the game, then I'd probably recommend it.
Yeah, if it was just the first half, I totally would have recommended it. But
different game, different time. Go listen to the Grab Bag episode to hear our thoughts on World of Final Fantasy, and also Root Letter. That's a good game, and you can hear how we thought about the Persona 5 delay that happened. And how bummed we were about that.
We were, but now we know 6 translators.
Yeah. Why would you have more editors and translators? That's still the thing that weirds me out.
I have no idea. As poor life choices.
Poor life choices. So yeah, that's gonna do it. Yeah, we both say recommended for Persona 5. I have more issues of it than you do, but that's just how games work. So,
yep.
Enjoy it. Get mad at us on the internet because we have lower scores than everyone else, and have differing opinions.
Whoops.
If you want to get mad at us on the internet, you can follow us on Twitter at Anime Checkup, where we talk about anime and video games and manga. But I haven't done anything really this past week because Persona 5.
Right. Persona 5
took over everything else.
Taking over our lives, and it's a problem.
You can also find more information at seasolanimecheckup.com or sac.cool. Where you can find reviews, columns, this very podcast. Check out all the other episodes. The latest episode of the Seasonal Anime Checkup podcast is now out and available, which you can find at seasonalanimecheckup.com/podcast, and listen to that to hear thoughts, opinions about the past season of anime of winter, and then a preview of spring, which is already happening. So you can listen and hear synopses of shows that are happening right now. You can follow Ladyem at ladyem.com.
You can. Please.
Where she has cool stuff written there.
Yay.
And then next week we probably will actually talk about Legend of Zelda games. Unless something else big comes up and we have to push it back. But that's pretty much probably going to be the idea, is that we're going to talk about Legend of Zelda games that I've played recently, and not in terms of like a retrospective or anything. It's just going to be like, hey, here's these games I played. Let's talk about them. And basically that's it. Also, 2 weeks from now is an episode I'm very much looking forward to recording. And one I've been waiting to do for a very long time.
Oh my god. I think I know which one you're talking about.
So I'm just, yeah. We're gonna shift the focus of this podcast back to anime for once, because
we are.
That's how this thing started. Whoops, it happens. But yeah, that's gonna be a very, very fun episode. So look forward to 2 weeks.
It's gonna be the Ladyem is hyper confused consistently all the time. WTF? Oh my god, what is happening? Episode.
Which, speaking of, we were talking about the Igor reveal. I was very bummed that Igor, the fake Igor, was like, "You thought it was Igor, but it was me, Dio."
It can't be Dio.
It could have been.
Not
Dio.
Everything is Dio.
Okay, but what if fake Igor had vampire horses?
But what if Dio?
But what if Dio? Vampires. Vampire horses. I mean, if that isn't enough to understand what exactly the episode's going to be about, you're in for a wild ride, trust me.
Or maybe we could use the word bizarre.
I think for me, the word I'm going to use is adventure.
I'm going to use the word what the
So yeah, that's the 2 weeks from now episode, because we still have to finish what is being aired currently. There's 2 more episodes of that left. But yeah, look forward to that. Look forward to Zelda games next week. And hey, you should probably go play Persona 5, I guess.
You should. Yes. Don't say I guess.
I'm sorry. You should probably go play Persona 5. Probably.
Yes. Yes, you should go play Persona 5. Don't listen to Jared. Listen to me.
Go play Persona 4. Go play all the Persona games.
All the Persona games.
Go play Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Go play Tokyo Mirage Sessions, and not all the Persona games, because I can't recommend one.
Go play all of the Persona. Go especially play the 96 version of Persona 1.
No! That's the worst thing you can tell them.
Especially.
Why are you giving bad life advice, Jared?
I mean, you have to. I feel like that game is an experience that someone, or that people need to experience. Just because of how weird it is. But don't pay $50 for it.
5. Go play Persona 5.
Spend 100,000 hours on that game. Because that's what you do.
Go play Persona 5. Morgana's going to tell you to go to sleep.
Yeah, that's how we should end this podcast. Hey,
Are you feeling tired?
Are you feeling tired? All you've done today is listen to a podcast. Maybe you should go to sleep. Like, you really probably don't want to go do anything else, right? You don't have time to do anything else. I mean, you're exhausted. You just listened to something for 2.5 hours. You clearly need to go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep.